Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening. It's Stephen from RetroLin.com here, and I'd like to dedicate tonight's show to Justin Carmichael, otherwise known as Jew Wario, who passed away on Thursday.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of I Got Gameplay. Now, tonight it's been emotionally, it's been a bit of a roller coaster for everybody, especially when it comes to the gaming community, as we've ended up losing a very pivotal member of this community, someone who's actually worked in RetroWare.com, and also the guy with the glasses. A gentleman who's had his own YouTube channel. He's basically been a part of some amazing episodes with both guys members and also members of the Retro himself. He is none other than Jew Wario. He leaves behind him his family and also his friends. Those basically the people who care for him, who love him. And it's very sad and unfortunate what's happened or how this event has happened. And I'm not really going to go into the details of what happened exactly. All know that the world has lost someone important to the gaming community and someone who is loved by everybody. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce you guys to the hosts of the show, including myself, and also someone that we have new today, who will be talking with us and discussing with us our core subject. But I'm also going to, as I lead these guys in, I'm going to ask them a question and leave an open question out to the guys at this point in time. If you want to say anything about your memories of Jew Wario, his YouTube channel, his experiences, and how you first got into him. So I'm going to introduce the first co-host of the show, Xander Scullion. Xander?
Hey guys, how's it going today?
Good. Do you have any experience with Jew Wario? Have you been a viewer of his YouTube channel?
Well, I've been watching Jew Wario for a couple of years actually, and I can honestly say that he always seemed very, very humble. He was a really funny guy. He was really hilarious, and he had a lot of love for the import scene. A lot of games and ways to play games like import-wise, I learned from watching his show. And one of my biggest memories of Jew Wario was his review on PlayStation of an import game called Pepsi Man. And it was some game that was put out by Pepsi, and apparently it's a pretty sought-after, rare game, and it was just so funny. And he was also a huge Power Rangers fan as well, which I just thought that was really, really cool. So he even made a video talking about Power Rangers and how it started out in Japan. I can't remember the name of it in Japan, but he made a whole video on that, and yeah, he was an awesome guy and had an awesome channel, definitely.
Okay, the next person I want to introduce is a gentleman from Rose Colored Let's Plays and Rose Colored Reviews, Travis Goss. What are your memories of Jew Wario?
I remember the first time I ever saw him, I just began watching the videos from that guy, theglasses.com, and of course what got me started with that was watching the Nostalgia Critic. And it was the first actual movie that they made. I'm not talking about the battle between Critic and AVGN, but the actual first movie they did, which was Kick-Assia. And I saw this guy who was, when they were introducing all the characters in the movie, saw this guy wearing this really cool Wario hat. And we found out this guy, he goes by the moniker of Jew Wario. And just watching him, you can see that he loved being in front of the camera, and he brought such a very, very uplifting spirit to whatever scene he was in, or if any of his own reviews that he was making, you could tell that he absolutely loved and adored what he did. And he was doing it for his fans and anybody who appreciated video games as much as he did. And I didn't really hear about him passing until just a couple hours ago, and I'm still in a state of shock that he's gone. He's definitely going to be missed in the gaming community, and my heart does go out to his family and his friends and to anybody who was touched by what appears to be one of the greatest, sweetest men who have ever been in the internet community.
The next two individuals from the channel getting a nerd on, Carla DePietro and Zach Latour. Guys, have you had any experience with Jew Wario's content? Have you seen his channel?
I actually didn't know who he was. I'm pretty new to the YouTube scene. And when I heard about it and I saw on Facebook how it was affecting everyone, I decided to check out a few of his videos. The first one I watched actually was his holiday special, and it made me really sad because he was just so thankful for the people around him, the people who took time for him, and he was saying about things that he wanted to do in this coming year, so that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, the first time I ever saw him was I think it was in the Game Chasers episode when they were at like MagFest one year, and I ended up watching one of his videos today. I hadn't watched too much of him, but it was the Back to the Future 2, Super Back to the Future 2, the good one, on the Famicom or whatever. And one thing I liked about his reviews is one thing I don't like about a lot of reviewers is that they don't they don't say negative things on a lot of games. Like they want to kind of. Some reviewers when I watch, they say like, "Oh, this game's great. It's on Super Nintendo and it really kicks ass," and they don't really mention any of the bad things. And when he was reviewing Super Back to the Future, and he's like, and he mentioned a lot of bad things. I have a lot of respect for that. I don't like it when people leave that out. And he goes right. He tells you everything. And I'm definitely going to watch a lot more of his videos. He's definitely sick.
And my experience with the guy, I remember there was I got hugely into Linkara and his comic book reviews, and he did a review with Jew Wario on the Pokemon episode, and he was kind of like the guy who was the butt of everybody's jokes in a sense in this episode, but he was funny as well. He was very comical, and he was someone that I looked at and I had to thought to myself, who is this guy? So I did some research on the guy with the glasses, saw the movies that he did, and saw the vids that he has on, and quite recently I've been sitting down going through his videos, and I've recently been checking out his Scan This and his final pipeline reviews as he's going on with the PS Vita TV. It's a weird situation when no matter what happens, in the gaming community, I find that everybody is very close-knit. No matter who you are, no matter what goes on, we all connect because of our love of gaming and our passion to do what we do. He was so full of life, and he was literally someone who just enjoyed what he did. He would talk about imports, talk about various games that you could import over to your console and stuff, and how to sort of get these games working. And it's weird. It's extremely weird knowing someone who was here the other day is gone.
It's very sad. And I hear, all I know is that the way he went out, I mean, that kind of harkens back to...
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
Just talk about the fact that he left an impact on everybody. No matter who you are, the game boards, the gaming communities, the Happy Console Gamer, Retro Unlim, all the other gaming channels are basically, even if we've sat there and had laughs and taken funny shots at each other in terms of retroware and Retro Unlim, we always have this mutual respect for one another. We, had this mutual love for everybody's work. And it's one of those things where he's going to be missed. Yeah. And he's going to be missed by everybody. And going from that let's head over to... Rest in peace, Jew Wario.
Yeah. But just all you have to do is just remember all the great things he has done, and that's going to lift you up. That's all you can do.
So let's move on now, guys, over to our gaming news. And this will be fronted, of course, by none other than Spoobeast himself, the man who'll be hosting the show tonight. And this is, I believe, his third hosting duties, maybe his fourth, actually. Braden Mayhew. So, Braden, welcome to the show. Welcome back, my friend.
Yes, as always. Actually, I'm only counting this my second. I only remember doing this once in June, and it was shortly after E3. And, I mean, what a night for me to have to do it. I mean, a bunch of this emotionally, completely downer of a moment. Now I got to kind of try not to pick things back up and try to make everybody happy. Everybody's like on the verge of tears with the horrible news of tonight. But, yeah, we're going on to the news segment of I Got Gameplay. This is the segment where each and every one of the members of the collective here tonight share with you, the audience, news that they've found at least interesting in the video game community over the course of the last week. So what do you have for us, everybody? Burhan, you yourself, do you have any sort of news that you'd like to share with our audience here tonight?
I do have some news. And one of them that I've got is basically Sony announces EverQuest Next for the PlayStation 4. A new IP, PlanetSide 2, coming in the first half of 2014. Now, I'm going to elaborate on this a little bit. During an AMA style, it's like Ask Me Almost Anything Q&A on Reddit, Sony Online Entertainment President John Smedley dropped a few bombs that the PS4 and MMORPG fans in general will love. He confirmed that the upcoming MMORPG EverQuest Next will be heading to the PlayStation 4, and he teased out a possibility before, but it's the first time that he announces that it's clearly been made official. And he basically states that, yes, we will be absolutely bringing EverQuest Next to the PlayStation 4, and he also gave a tentative time frame for PlanetSide 2's release on the Sony's new console as well, which will be the first half of this year. And he also announced that lots of plans for implementation of new continents on PlanetSide 2, and also, on top of the icing of the cake on this, he delivered a true blue tease of a new unannounced MMORPG that Sony Online Entertainment is working on, and it's going to become packed with a completely new IP. So that comes off the news that Sony has cancelled a slew of MMORPG IPs previously, and it's good news. So what does everyone think of that?
I'm all about it. Sounds awesome.
We could always use more RPGs
This is true.
in genre, for sure.
And also, Sony Online Entertainment is offering an all-access subscription for all its games for $15 a month.
15.
The company will offer a new all-access subscription plan starting from April the 2nd, and it will cost $14.99. And it will include a whole lot of benefits, including top-tier memberships to all its MMORPGs, including the upcoming EverQuest Next and EverQuest Next Landmark. So that's another little subscription deal that they're doing. Instead of actually charging a one-off fee, they're basically going to be offering a complete subscription where you get to play all their online entertainment games, including I believe DC Universe Online still on there, all their old titles, and also the new platforms are actually coming out on the PlayStation 3, PS4, and PC platforms. So what does everyone think of this one?
Let's see. I know that people love these types of games, so good for them. It's not my kind of thing, but good for those who are big fans of game styles of that type.
What do you guys think? Do you think paying $15 a month extra to play Sony Online games and also paying for PSN Plus, do you think this is too much?
It does sound a little excessive.
I don't get the point
whatever
of.
you want though.
Yeah, you get to play them all for whatever you want, and the $15 a month includes all Sony Online titles, not just individual games.
Well, wasn't PSN's big thing was the fact that you don't really have to pay for it, and that's why you're better off being a member of PlayStation Network rather than Xbox Live?
Yeah.
The thing was, you don't have to pay for this. Join PSN.
You still don't have to play it in terms of the PlayStation 3, but in terms of the PS, well, at the moment, I won't be quoted verbatim on this, but at the moment, you don't have to actually play for a PSN Plus subscription to play multiplayer on the PS3. You do need to, if you want to get the free game deals and stuff like that, of course. But on the PS4, you do. So this adds on an extra $15 a month on top of what we're playing at the moment.
And this is you need this for the PlayStation 4 in order to access online gaming, or is it an option?
If you want to play online games such as EverQuest, like the Sony Online Entertainment games, like the MMOs and stuff that they have, you'll need
It's mandatory.
This. Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Well, I think it's a bit excessive.
I will say this. I really, really like PlayStation Plus. I think what they're doing with the whole free games a month is an awesome idea, because I'll tell you what, I was unemployed for 3 months, and I didn't really buy too many games, but I had a PlayStation Plus account, and luckily I was able to play some pretty good titles, because they put some good titles on there for free. Like right now, the new Devil May Cry is on there, and Borderlands 2, and it's not like how Xbox is kind of doing it, because I know Xbox is trying to do the whole a free game a month, and they were like, hey, we got a free game this month. Guess what it is? Fable 2, or oh, we got Halo 3, and it's just so they're putting some games on there that are still, while they're not brand new, they're still, recognizable, and they're still kind of fresh a little bit. So I like that concept a little bit.
Well, what I like about it is, for me, with my PS4, all of my free games that I've been getting are all the indie titles. And they're all really, they're all fun games, like Don't Starve, Resogun, Contrast. I think there's one other one that I got for free for being a part of PlayStation Plus. So I've enjoyed it. I like having it.
Yeah, I think in terms of offerings, Sony actually offer better deals in terms of their games. But the one question I'm asking everyone: will you pay the extra to play Sony Online Entertainment games? And this has been a thing. When DC Online was released, you had to pay a fee to play the DC Online games. You have to pay a fee to play any of the MMOs anyway. The Final Fantasy 14 MMO, Final Fantasy 14 Reborn, I believe, that you've got to pay a fee to actually play on the servers. So this allows you to access all the games on their servers to play online.
Now, will you be able to play some of the... Because I know they were talking about with the... you were able to play some of the back catalog games with this total streaming service. Will you be able to play PlayStation 1 games for free?
What this basically is for is only for the online MMO games. So instead of paying one subscription for each individual game, you're paying an entire subscription for every single game.
Waste.
The question is who plays multiple MMOs? Because usually, when you talk to someone that plays MMOs, they usually stick to one. Maybe they'll venture off and they'll try something else. But they usually go back to I know some people that play World of Warcraft or something like that, and they'll be like, oh, new Star Wars MMO came out. They'll go and play that. They'll get bored of it, and they'll go back to MMO. World of Warcraft. So it's almost unnecessary. I could see where it could save you money in the long run if you were had MMO ADD and you had to raid in 4 different games at night before you went to sleep. But I don't really see where you would really need to spend that money.
Yeah, for me, I think they're introducing this for hardcore MMO players, for guys who play all these MMO titles and want to play the DC universe and play all their other games. I want to know, does that include the downloadable content? Because it actually doesn't state here.
Probably not. It wouldn't. I mean, DLC is like such a huge income for gaming developers now.
And that's a shame, because in terms of what Sony's offering, it just seems like an extra cost. And for people like myself who, no offense to anybody who can afford this, if I'm choosing $14.99 a month on top of my PSN Plus subscription, I'll just get the PSN Plus subscription and forget about the games, about the MMOs. I wouldn't play them. Because I've got loads of other standalone titles. GTA 5, I play online. All I need is either an Xbox Live subscription or on PlayStation 3, I don't even need a PSN Plus account to play it. So, and that's free. No hidden charges. If you want extra money, you can buy that. If you need extra packs and stuff, you can buy that. But everything else is free. You're free to play.
I feel like that's how it should be.
Yeah, I agree. I really do, because we're paying so much at the moment. Excuse me. We're paying so much at the moment. There's no reason to be paying more and more through the nose for services. That's just it. It seems that they're trying to get the hardcore MMO guys in, and to play on console instead of playing on PC. So
yeah, but first they have to rip them away from games like WoW and LOL. Yeah.
And I think that's probably what they're trying to do here, because with WoW, if you're buying like the updates for WoW and stuff, do you still pay the same subscription?
I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, like WoW is it's like $15 a month, isn't it? But you have to buy all the updates. No. Like, so if like the new pack comes out, like what is it, Mr. Pandaria was the new one, you have to go buy that. And if you had beaten all the ones previously, you can install it, but the monthly amount is still the same. You just have to buy the new update.
Okay. Let's see what else we've got here in terms of news, and I'll hand it over to whoever wants to go on next.
If you have news, share it.
Apparently, the PS4, it actually runs games on 1080p, but the Xbox One is only running games on, I believe, it's supposed to be on like the way that it's confirmed is it actually runs in full 1080p, which is, I believe, 60 frames per second, where the Xbox One, the few games that do run in 1080p only run on 30 frames per second. I was having a conversation quite recently with Xander and Johnny Millennium about this. It seems like frames per second is going to be the new Bit Wars.
Yeah.
In terms of the consoles themselves, because everyone's like, should I get this, and this is this frames per second, or get this, or this frames per second? By the way, ladies and gents, I want to introduce someone into the show as well. A gentleman by the name of Wesley Jobert. Now, Wesley, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm making a game in RPG Maker, and it's actually pretty difficult, but I find inspiration through like other RPG games like Final Fantasy, stuff like that, but it's pretty fun. So
what do you think about the whole frame war that they're having at the moment, the whole like frames per second thing? Do you think it's relevant in terms of the consoles, or do you think just play games?
Well, I think we're focusing a little too much on visuals and stuff like that, when really if the game isn't broken, why complain about like the frames per second and stuff like that? Because if you can understand what's going on, and if you can understand what they're going for, that's really what matters, instead of like,
Totally agree with you, mate. I think it's usually what happens with like the fans themselves, really, isn't it? Because people tend to sway one way or another, and it's going to add to the next whole like PS4 versus Xbox One debate on who thinks which console's better, in a sense. But yeah, let's go on to you, Travis. What do you think about this?
This is really ridiculous. People are pissing and moaning about frames per second. Whatever happened to just enjoying the game?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're playing a fun game. I mean, I can understand if you're that die-hard, you're into visuals, but if you're having fun playing it, that's what matters the most. And this is something I've always stressed about. Even back in the 90s, when this whole thing between Sega and Nintendo, people say, like, well, Nintendo does it better. Oh, yeah? Well, Sega can when 10 don't. Really? Come on. Really? Guys, if you love what you're playing, let that be the primary reason you're playing a video game.
Very true.
It's not making it about visuals, graphics. If you have a story you're invested in, or you're playing something that plays out perfectly and you enjoy what you're playing, that's what matters more than something looking pretty.
Exactly.
Always has, always will.
Actually, no.
Go ahead. Sorry.
It's like two people like walking in the same, like they're trying to get out of each other's way, and they just keep bumping into each other.
You can
go on, Wesley. Dad is just going to stand there and let you go.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Well, actually, I just broke out the Super Nintendo today, and I was playing, like, F-Zero and stuff like that, and you really don't think, like, while you're playing the game, like, I wonder how many frames per second I'm getting right now. You just think, like, is this a good game? And if you answer yes, then it's a good game.
Just the magic of the Super Nintendo.
Yo, to be fair, F-Zero is like 20 years ahead of its time. I mean, that game just still blows my mind to these days. So.
He still can't beat it. And he goes, fits of rage. Anyways, I think it's really funny that everyone's kind of like, oh, well, the game, yes, everyone knows that the gameplay matters and that it should be a fun game, but everyone enjoys a good-looking video game. No one can deny that.
Yeah, but that's not the driving reason to buy the game or want to play it.
I think it goes, what I was going to say earlier is I think it just goes to just our normal senses. Like, a lot of people are very visual, so when they see a game and it looks visually appealing, that makes you want to play it. And it's funny because you have people that want the most advanced graphics and they want everything to look ultra realistic. And, you know, you also have the people that really, really enjoy that 16-bit art style. Like, it's an art. It was an art back then. And people kind of look at that, and it's just like, it's kind of divided with some gamers about graphics and stuff like that. But it is all about gameplay when it all comes down to it. Because, I mean, I've played some games that look beautiful but played like crap, and vice versa. But, I mean, and a lot of it, too, is like when we were talking to Johnny the other night, we were talking about imagination. You know, back, it's a little different for us because we're a little older and we can kind of remember playing Dragon Warrior and putting our imagination with the Nintendo because, I mean, those graphics were so primitive that you had to use your imagination while you played it. And unfortunately, with the newer generation, it's kind of like they're losing their imagination because everything's there for them, you know?
It's true. I mean, it's also in the same way that games look so nice and they lose their imagination. I feel like sometimes they've made them easier, too, where they're holding your hand and being like, oh, look at sparkles over here. You can beat this.
Shiny floors. Oh, shiny floors.
Well, honestly, what I think is in 20 years, you'll still look at pixel art graphics and say, hey, those look nice. But in 20 years, you'll see, like, Call of Duty and stuff like that, and it'll be outdated. And you'll think,
at the Saturn.
Yeah,
look
exactly.
at the Saturn and a PlayStation, like PlayStation 1.
PlayStation and Nintendo 64 did not age well, and they never will ever age well.
No.
The only PS1 games that really aged well were the ones that took on the Super Nintendo sprite-type graphics. And I think it's almost like, it's not even that it's like something of the past. I mean, like, Art Deco is like a style of art, and just like pixelated art, just like the Nintendo things and Super Nintendo is a form of art, and you'll see it probably become bigger and bigger as time goes on. I mean, it's just as, you know, as relevant a form as anything else.
Very much so. I think in terms of the way that we see it at the moment, people are always going to compare. And in terms like, as we said, with the Genesis and with the Nintendo Entertainment System, we had the bit wars, and the people were comparing about how many bits these consoles had. But in the end, Nintendo were the ones who prevailed because they managed to adapt and keep producing amazing games. And Sega kind of put out Frankenstein's Monster, and when it came down to like the consoles at the moment with the Xbox One and PlayStation 4, in the end, it's just going to be about who prefers which console the most. They're both at that point now where they're charging subscription fees for you to play multiplayers games. That the Xbox One does certain things that the PS4 don't, and the PS4 do certain things that the Xbox One doesn't. But in the end, as Rob Mann, who's a frequent guest on the show, as always stated, they're consoles. Just play them, enjoy them, and in the end, we're going to have our problems with them. We're going to have our issues with these consoles, but hopefully, after patch after patch after patch, they'll be rectified. I remember when I got my Wii U, the first time I got that console, and we had to do that day one update. That took me nearly like freaking 9 to 10 hours to get this bloody update sorted out on my console.
Luckily, I was sick when I got my Wii U. That's when I had the flu, and like I just kind of passed out while I was doing the install.
It's funny because I was just gonna say it's funny you should mention about these day one installs. Rob Man, by the way, if he's listening, hey, what's up, buddy? I will say that he posted this on his Facebook saying that he got his PS4, and it took him altogether just over 12 hours to not only do the day one install, but to also download all the games he wanted for it, and it took him such a long time.
Yeah, and that's another one what's happening. Apparently it took him hours from what he actually said, like it was about 12 hours nearly to download day one updates, to download extra updates, download games for the console that he wanted to play, and it was just mad,
This is just something I really don't like about game systems today and going into the future, is you have to have these day one installs and have to take that long just so that we can get your system up to date so we can start playing with it. I just don't like the way things are going.
Yeah, in a sense, as I said, these are new consoles though. With the Wii U, it had tons of teething problems.
Mm-hmm.
And it's now working its way through those. The same's going to happen for the Xbox One. Same's going to happen for the PS4, unless someone makes a stupid mistake that they'll need like freaking months on them to rectify.
Yeah.
And in the end, as long as the things start working and nothing blows up, there's no issue. It'll take a bit of time, but with a bit of love, it'll progress. So yeah, that's my news done. Who wants to go next?
I got a quick one. All right. Ubisoft investing $28 million more. I'll try that again. Ubisoft investing $28 million more in Quebec, adding 100 new jobs. And they're expanding its operations from Quebec with an investment of $28 million. That's Canadian dollars, so that comes to about $25.3 million here in the U.S. over the next 3 years. The goal is to fill 100 new positions, focusing on AAA next-generation development at Ubisoft's Quebec City studio. The government will assist Ubisoft Quebec City's growth with $10,000 as part of the ESSOR program, the same program that also helped WB Games to set up shop within Canada's largest province. So, here's the thing. That's really great news to hear that, because Ubisoft makes some really great games lately. They've been, these things have been going like crazy. They've, they have Just Dance. That just extremely popular now. And of course, Rayman. Rayman's been really making a huge comeback with the
more
games.
about Just Dance.
Yeah, but it's great to see Ubisoft really just expanding that much.
Well, they have to as well, because they made a lot of promises in terms of like the Assassin's Creed franchise. They're putting out loads of more titles. They're expanding themselves to the other two next-gen consoles. They're still making games for the 3DS, Wii U, PC platforms. They have to. They've got to grow. And it's a step in the right direction. And, what a better place than Canada to do that?
Here in my country, Canuckland.
Yeah, well, you guys have got growth going on. Your economy is not as destroyed as everybody else's. And it's relatively cheap, and it's providing jobs for you. So I think it's great. And to all our fellow Canadians out there, congratulations. Let's hope this means bigger and better things out of there. And kudos to Ubisoft. Kudos.
Congrats to Ubisoft, eh?
Yeah.
Is it true that you guys have square tires up in Canada?
Yeah.
Is it true what?
I'm
you
going
guys
to
have
move there
square
now.
tires up in Canada?
Yeah, we have a whole bunch of them actually.
Okay. Is that how
My head's actually a rectangle.
Have you ever seen the South Parks where when they go to Canada?
I've seen all of them.
And people are driving on square wheels. They're just driving around town on square wheels.
And the only thing we eat is Kraft dinner, buddy.
Yeah.
But that,
okay. So it is all true.
Yeah, it's all true. The funny thing is, I didn't even know Ubisoft was a Canadian company until now. That just goes to show my expertise on knowing where companies are founded and where they actually take place. One of the biggest developers today is headquartered in my home country, and I don't even know it.
Yeah, and you know what? I have to admit, they've been doing everything right. While everybody else has been sitting there crapping all over each other and having a go and blaming the fans and blaming the consoles and blaming each other, Ubisoft are just like, here's some games, play them. Oh, you want a new Assassin's Creed game? Yeah, sure.
Well, to be fair, that's how it's supposed to be done anyway, so...
Yeah, they're not associating themselves with it. I think the only bad decision they made was basically putting Tobuscus at one of their E3 conferences, but they kind of rectified that.
They're appealing to the Toby Tards, were they? That's never a good idea, but...
Yeah, he was... Well, he got taken down a peg. I used to try and I just took him down, so that was fun.
Thankfully.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to bring him back. But, it's one of those things where it's imperative, and they're doing the right thing. They're making sure they get the content out there, and they're doing things for the fans. And they're creating great content, and they're leaving it in the hands of people. Even with this whole YouTube situation, Ubisoft have been one of the companies who've held their hands up and said, hey, we're not doing this. Send us your letters, send us your emails, and we'll make sure we get these claims closed.
And Nintendo should take lessons there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's great. It's really, really good. And as I said, kudos. That's a huge positive for the gaming industry. If we want this industry to survive and expand, that's what we need. We need companies that will listen.
Anybody else have news? Do you share it now?
Yeah, I got one thing. First of all, I want to say I tried to create a game in RPG Maker for the PS1, and that was a fucking disaster. That game, the one thing that pissed off about that game is before you make your own, you can watch it says watch a video of an RPG that the people who made this game actually made, and it's fucking amazing. It has these awesome ass characters. They do all this cool stuff. Then you go to make your own. It's the worst thing you've ever seen in your life. It's just an abomination. So anyway, that game is garbage.
Well, you think you're... Oh, go ahead.
What's up? No, what were we going to say?
Oh, well, you think when you make a game, you think you're going to be like a god and everything and, just have everything obey to your command, but really you're just like a caveman.
Yeah.
Poking at stuff and hoping it works.
Just trying to figure out these primitive tools.
Yeah, but it felt more like they were just being assholes about it. Look what we made, and yours will never come close.
It's like watching Minecraft, isn't it? When you watch those Minecraft videos and people made this freaking Game of Thrones cast stuff, and everyone else is like, "Wow!" I'm sitting there fucking jammy cunts. Yeah.
No. My best offerings to Minecraft is just digging holes for myself and making them intricate inside the dirt. I can't really build any actual houses for myself, let alone fucking castles.
Yeah,
right?
I sit there, I was like, dodgy gits. Look at you, show off. Show you Game of Thrones castle.
I made a fireplace.
Yeah, I've got my brick house that keeps out the freaking enders. That's what I have. And you've got your Game of Thrones castle, la-di-da.
Yeah, when it comes to Minecraft, some of my buddies went into my other friend's account on Minecraft, in his server, and they redirected a volcano, so it dumped into his house and ruined all of his shit or whatever, and it just bounced. Bye. Hope you like that. Anyway, what's that?
Was he one of those guys that basically was making loads of cool stuff, and they just legged it?
Oh, well, it wasn't cool stuff like making the Island of Lost or anything. He just kind of had his own shit going, and they just went in there to troll the hell out of him. and then just didn't care. But that guy, the guy who made the house that they had lava dump into, he only like jerks off to tentacle porn, so whatever.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my.
As long as it's justified.
I'm pretty sure that's actually a fact too. So.
No, that's definitely fact. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's into tentacles. I don't know why, but.
Is that you again, Zach?
I mean, me.
He's a big Maniac Mansion fan, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, Purple Tentacle, show me why I love you.
Minecraft, Tentacles, and more, as sponsored by I Got Gameplay.
You could put the hamster in the microwave in that game, couldn't you?
Yeah.
You did in the PC, but they moved that in the NES version.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's still in the NES version. There's actually two different versions, and I got the version that shows the blood.
Oh, nice.
Oh, you're right. That's right.
Yeah, that's what's up. I did have some news.
You share it.
I don't know if I can't remember if we talked about this last week, but if we haven't, then I'm surprised we haven't. Talked about Machinima.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm
Machinima.
actually completely blind. What's going on with them?
Okay, all right. So Xbox got in contact with Machinima, and of course, we all know Machinima's one of the biggest networks of YouTubers. Mm-hmm. And pretty much Microsoft told the YouTubers, like, hey, we got this new program that we're doing for you guys, that if you make stories about the Xbox One, and you show about 30 seconds of gameplay of you playing and talking about it, at least 30 seconds, and you don't say anything negative about it, say all the positive good things about it, change your tags so we can find you, then every 1,000 views you get $3 from us. So they were pretty much in the hush-hush paying Machinima for good publicity for the Xbox One.
Whoa.
And what makes it even worse is it's illegal.
Oh, yeah.
And Microsoft came out in a statement as well stating that we don't know what anyone was talking about. We didn't offer these incentives. If Machinima was offering their YouTubers an incentive to promote the Xbox One, that's down to them. And then Machinima came out and said, well, we're not responsible for what our YouTube partners do. Everyone's blaming everyone, and it's ridiculous.
Typical.
Yeah.
It's the way of the world. No, it was their fault. They're the ones doing that. We had no idea. I can't control this person.
Then that's literally it, because there's no concrete evidence that they did it. No one's going to be legislating it. No one's looking into the matter. And it's funny how you're letting... This is why I had this conversation quite recently with guys on the Happy Console Gamer forum, and also, I had this convo with Xander about gaming journalists and how gaming journalism is becoming a lost art now. Like, everything is becoming a huge promotional whore. You go to IGN.
That's not just gaming journalism. That's the world.
Yeah, but
that's media.
The thing is, what happens is the constructive criticism goes, and YouTube was the last avenue people could go to and actually sit there and say, hey, let's find out exactly what this guy thinks. Let's find out what Angry Joe thinks. Let's find out, say, like Total Biscuit thinks. Now, if you get these guys out there who are basically not giving constructive criticism to games and not providing a proper opinion, and who are getting paid a backhand by Machinima, by Xbox, and also like using the whole Machinima template, Machinima loses credibility. The channel becomes worthless, and their YouTubers become worthless, because in the end they're not really going to get any more people coming to their channel saying, I like what you see. It's like the Mike Matei and freaking Elmo situation. You don't want to go to someone's channel if they're going to basically go around and act like fucking nuisances. You want to pop, your gameplay on there. You want to look at a video and you want to see if someone can constructively say, this is a good game. Imagine if Angry Joe was going around saying how the freaking Battleship game, he gave it like 10 out of 10 platinum fucking stars and all that shit. People would have gone fucking nuts buying that game. They would have purchased it, played through it, saw how broken the mechanics were, and were freaking insulting the guy on Twitter. It doesn't make sense. This is the avenue that we need I think one of the last trusted sites I use, like GameSpot, I use a lot of playthroughs. I use, as I said, I use Angry Joe. I use perceptions from several different YouTubers to find out exactly if I should purchase a certain game. And then in the end, that's my decision. If the lines keep getting blurred so much, journalism is going to just become to the point where no one's going to trust what anyone else says.
I don't think anyone does anyways, to be
we're pretty well there.
Well, what I was going to say was the point I was going to make before you actually said it is trust. That's the thing. It's like you trust Angry Joe. There was an Alpha Omega Sin video where he talked about this, and he was saying at the end, he was like, let these motherfuckers come to me and tell me they're going to pay me to say good things about them, and I'll tell them to go fuck themselves. And that's the thing. Like, those are the people you can trust. You want to be able to trust people. It's not just like, it should never be blind. If you're going to watch reviews, if you're going to trust people. I mean, I kind of make up my decision on my own, but I definitely like it when you kind of get good reviews from other people, and some people kind of use those, to what they're going to get, and you should be able to trust them, and that's the point. I don't know if anyone saw our newest video, but our skit was paid for by Microsoft and Machinima. Psych. But I had to stab him with that. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. It comes down to trust. That's the point. It's like you should be able to trust these people, especially on YouTube, telling you the truth and not lying just for money. Because once people are lying for money, it might as well be Rolling Stone or something at that point, because no one fucking listens to anything they say anymore.
Yeah, and that's the problem, because eventually the credibility goes, and people will just stop listening to you.
Right, because journalism is more like marketing and publicity these days.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. There's press releases to talk about gaming. If a game's coming out, there's a press release that will say, this is the most awesome game in the world, and it's written by X, Y, and Z. That marketing companies handle that.
Oh, that's my favorite writer.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the kinds of things that are handled by marketing companies. They don't need reviewers, and I'm going to use the term loosely, reviewers, to actually sell these products.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's that they don't need reviewers. I think it's that they don't want reviewers. Obviously, like if Xbox One or Microsoft puts out any game, they're going to have people, say the best things ever about it. And so it's like I feel like these are the people that you do need, the ones who are big enough to tell you that it does suck balls and still be able to, reign supreme or whatever without being paid for by the company.
Yeah.
It's a total shit show of what just happened here, and I'm happy this kind of stuff gets out to the public.
Yeah, and it does as well, and that's the thing. And the guys who don't do that, the guys who don't sell out, like Alpha Megasin, like Joe, like the other YouTubers out there, they will basically come out and say, hey, you know what? We're going to spread this, and we're going to show what you guys are like. And Machinima, in the end, they are borderline. They could get themselves sued. They could get themselves facing a fine by the government if this goes any further, and they could end up getting themselves bankrupted from this.
Absolutely.
To get $3 for promoting an Xbox One.
Well, you know what I have to say about that? If they get sued and they go bankrupt, I say good riddance, because they totally ruined the Castlevania TV series. Freaking hated that web series, man. Fuck Machinima.
It's funny, too, that if that's the case with Machinima, I'm surprised that Microsoft isn't going to be the next to follow with a big lawsuit from the government.
Well, Microsoft will get away with it. That's always going to happen. The only people I think Microsoft will have to contend with are the fans. Even though people say that the fans don't matter, as soon as they try to do one dodgy deal with the fans and try to force their own initiative with the Xbox One, it went tits up. They saw the sales and they were like, shite, we're going to lose. And they changed their initiative. So the fan vote does matter. But in terms of stuff like this, you are messing with legal legislation here. This is law. And that's where the problem's going to lie. And this is where they're going to get hurt. And it's not going to be Microsoft that gets hurt. It's going to be Machinima. So they really need to watch how they do business.
Right, but if as of late they can't prove it,
No, they can prove it. I want to say that Angry Joe had posted at some point that he had actual proof that someone had sent them like a video that Machinima had sent out to their actual people. So, there's proof going around. Yeah. And, they've probably all tried to delete it since then, but other people have it. It's leaked.
That's the thing. Once something becomes leaked, that's going to be the issue.
Is it going to be snowed in too?
That's about Edward Snowden. We were talking about a movie called Snowden Part 2 with Edward Snowden. Like
at the terminal?
Never mind. The terminal, like Snowden, whatever.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go on from that. Yeah, go on, Wesley.
Might I just say that if you actually paid people to say good things about your game, like, how could you do that? Like, you would think, like, oh, hey, I made a good game, it's getting good reviews, but then you would just remember, oh, yeah, I paid people to say that.
And it can backfire as well.
If you don't make a game good enough to get good reviews, yeah, if you don't make a game good enough to get good reviews, then why would you make a game?
Because it's all about money at that point. Yeah, I mean that's why we get like cookie cutter Call of Duties every year. It's not like they're not sitting there thinking, being like, well, shit, we're gonna make the best Call of Duty ever. We're gonna fix all the lag. We're gonna fix all the freaking online problems. We're gonna make this game freaking awesome. No, they're like, we're gonna put out a new coat of paint because people are gonna buy it.
Well, that's what it becomes. Yeah, essentially that's what it becomes. Just, slap, like you said, like a new coat of paint on it, throw it out. I mean, that is what a lot of those things become.
Right, like I was talking about NASCAR and any sports game ever earlier this evening, and they really are, like, my whole thing was there's no point in buying one because they're going to have a newer one the next year. And that's the thing, is that they're just pushing these out like, I don't know, like a rabbit having babies. Yeah. It's just constant, and they just want to make money. And
the one thing about that, it gets so out of hand that you can't even blame the people making those games anymore. It's so like the people saying this is coming out now. Like, they'll put out, I forget who I was talking about this. Oh, I was talking to one of Kylo's roommates a while back about some Apple things that came out, and they didn't even work right. And
the iOS 7.
Yeah, but they pretty much just pushed it out to push it out. It's like, well, I can just picture like the programmer's like, well, it doesn't work right. Well, who cares? We'll fix it later. And that's kind of the thing. You can't even really hate on these programmers anymore. It's the publishers and the people who literally are like, using the marionette puppet at this point, and they're saying it's going out, so make it the best that you can, and they really can't do anything. I mean, how good of a game, like, could you really make for the Xbox One in 1 year? Like, what could you really do? Or the PS4, whatever.
That's the problem, though. Companies are basically pushing their deadlines,
making
sure that they release about 20 to 30 different games, and if they haven't got enough people to meet that demand, then there's a problem. It's like what happened with the Silent Hill games, when they went downhill. It was because they were left in the hands of somebody who had no idea about the games, and they were throwing out Silent Hill games which were just copy and paste of Silent Hill 2. And very bad copy and paste of Silent Hill 2.
Freaking corn.
Oh, you touched
corn.
Didn't you?
Corn.
I've been playing around with the Silent Hill games for ages since our last episode. I really enjoyed that episode. Let's go on to the next person. Who else got us a bit of news?
The only news that I was going to say was that Tomb Raider came out early, and apparently the PS4 version is the one to get because it can actually go up to 60 frames per second instead of 30 on the Xbox One. That's the only news I had.
Frame Wars.
Frame Wars. So yeah, that was it.
Oh. Okay, so we'll go from that, guys. We're just going to take a short break while we go on to our theme of today's show, which is gaming hoaxes. So make sure, guys, that you come back to us just after this.
And off of that super awesome dramatic music to bring back the podcast in some sort of fashion, we are here to talk about basically the biggest myths in gaming, which of course equal those that frustrated us, annoyed us, were downright head-scratching, or even a little creepy in some of the backstory to them. I, of course, will be talking about some of the experiences I've had with such myths in the gaming community. You gotta love when people who are fans of gaming just love to fuck with other gamers and make up stories about maybe something you can unlock or achieve inside a game that you'd really like to, and it's made up because they know you really like to, and then it's just all bullshit and fake anyway, just to see if they get your reaction, see how much you actually try to accomplish that, such as the infamous Luigi in Super Mario 64, Sonic and Tails in Super Smash Bros. Melee, as well as the various other sort of Easter eggs that were pretended to be there, but when you went to go find them, they weren't actually there. To start off, I'm going to talk about it's kind of like a recent internet myth. Apparently, back in the day, there was this arcade machine thing that was called Polybius. And basically what it was this arcade game that kids played, and it apparently caused amnesia, insomnia, nightmares, night terrors, all this. It was apparently a couple machines from Portland, Oregon. And when they played this, they just couldn't live with themselves. It caused people to commit suicide, this, that, and the other. A lot of ridiculous stuff. And it was an old arcade game that some people say was made by Nintendo at request of the government, made by this, made by that.
Sure, it wasn't Microsoft doing their thing.
It wasn't Microsoft. I'm pretty sure they were just behind the computers at that time that weren't video game oriented. But it's a story. Like it's not all that old. Like they say it takes place in like the 70s or the early 80s when the arcade machines came out and all that. But at the same time,
make me dizzy. I'm just saying, guys.
But at the same time, it's only been talked about since like the 2000s. Like the rise of the internet is when this kind of rumor came out to be, and there's many different versions of it. It's got a pretty decent legacy. I just thought it was interesting because it's about like arcade machines. I mean, I certainly wouldn't like to have myself subjected to amnesia, insomnia, nightmare, and night terror causing geometric patterns and stuff.
Zach always tells me just walk it off. Just
walk it off.
It just I think the word we're looking for here is just make sure the setting is what makes it the most important. Anybody have any, like maybe from your early childhood or even one of the first ones you've heard of? What would you say maybe was your first introduction to wanting to get any sort of rumor or unlock something in a game that really wasn't there? Anybody have any personal experience from this?
I had one which was funny. When I was a kid, I started playing Pokemon, right? And everybody was obsessed with Mew. Everyone was going on about...
this one. Oh, yes.
You get a free Mew, because they only gave them away in the Nintendo conventions. You had to literally go to the conventions, they give you a certificate of authenticity, and they download the Mew onto your Game Boy. The first rumor that we heard was that Mew was in, like, this freaking cave in the middle of nowhere. So you tried the cave. Then they said that Mew was basically where the truck was. So you tried the truck. Then it was like you have to, keep going and using surf to go all the way to the end of the freaking world in order to find Mew, and you'll find Mew. None of those things worked. I was like being insulted by people who swore that they knew what was going on. I was checking out with my friends, the magazines, the Nintendo magazines, with the game magazines, trying to figure out how the hell can I get myself a Mew, because I didn't live in the United States and I couldn't go to any conventions in order to get myself a freebie.
So was the convention thing actually true, though? That actually happened?
Yeah, the convention thing actually happened. Nintendo, what they did was, and this was only stateside, we couldn't get it.
Right.
You have to literally go overseas and head to like one of the Nintendo conventions in order to get yourself a free Mew. But you had to show that you completed your Pokedex. I believe it was 150 Pokemon at the time.
Yeah.
And you would get your free Mew. Whereas all these little fake tips of like going in the cave, going in the back of the truck, and going at the back of the freaking house, and it was loads of little rumors that people had going on saying, no, I swear it was right, I swear. And you got nowhere. The only other way you could actually get hold of a Mew was by modding the save.
Whoa.
Well, all right then.
I have one. And first of all, I want to go ahead and plug a YouTube channel since we're talking about hoaxes. This is a great YouTube channel. It's called Pop Fiction, and they're a part of Game Trailers. And basically what this channel does is they debunk. They're kind of like Mythbusters for video games. They take all these hoaxes that we're talking about, and they analyze them, and they try to prove if it's a hoax or if it's real. But one thing I was going to say was, gaming hoaxes were like, when I was growing up during the early '90s. I mean, it was kind of fun because it was all word of mouth. We didn't have the internet and YouTube and stuff like that kind of helped us out. So it added a little bit of extra mystery to video games. And one of them I was going to talk about was on Street Fighter 2, the hidden character Shay Long. Apparently, like if you guys had played Street Fighter 2, Ryu had a taunt where he was saying, you cannot overcome the Ryzen Dragon Punch. But instead of saying the Ryzen Dragon Punch, he was saying that in order to overcome him totally, you have to defeat Shay Long. And everyone was like,
you must defeat Shen Long to stand a chance.
Yeah, that's what it was. So, I mean, everyone was like, who the hell is Shay Long? And so it was a huge rumor that I was a hidden character. Well, Electric Gaming Monthly magazine, who were notorious for April Fool's jokes, by the way, they took this rumor one step further by publishing a story that was confirming that Shay Long was a character that could be unlocked in the video games, and the gamers had to play as Ryu throughout the tournament without taking any damage or losing any battles to unlock the mysterious martial arts master. But then, again, Electric Gaming Monthly proved and confessed that it was a hoax and it was April Fool's Day. I believe even the publisher that put it out was like, it was something like April F. Fools or Ools or something like that published it. So if anyone saw it, they were like, oh, this is totally a hoax.
I was one of the idiots that believed it because I was a kid back then, and I sat there and I was like, I totally believe it. And I was playing through my copy of Street Fighter 2 trying to get the Shen Long. I believe the images were like, it was kind of, you didn't see the front of the guy, but you saw this white-haired guy throwing a freaking Dragon Punch.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like gaming had that mystery back then because you had the finishing moves in Mortal Kombat, which we can get into those as well. And I remember going to arcades and people would throw their jackets over the joystick to do the finishing moves because it was a certain sort of code that you had. I mean, it was all about acceptance in the arcade scene. So I mean, hoaxes were really, really big back then because there was really no way to prove it. It was just something fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was extremely fun trying to get through it. But I was disappointed. I used to get frustrated all the time. I even tried to find action replay codes just to see if I could actually get them on the game.
One of the most infamous ever. And funny that you mentioned Electronic Gaming Monthly. I'm pretty sure they'll probably be brought up a good 3 or 4 times by the time that this podcast is actually over.
Oh, yeah.
And they have another 2 that are really, really huge and infamous. Now, Travis, Zach, any of you guys have anybody else who's part of the collective tonight, have any sort of actual personal experience with maybe being caught up in a hoax and trying to achieve whatever the game was pretending or other gamers were telling you could do when you really couldn't?
I don't know how I ever heard of this, but when I was a kid, I was a fucking perv. And when I heard that you could get Lara Croft naked, I scoured the internet for that. I just remember scouring it.
Another infamous one.
Yeah, he says when he was a kid. He means now.
I mean right now. I'm looking as we speak for the new game. No, but I don't know why the hell I even believe that. I don't know why I believe. Why would you want to see that chick's polygon boobs anyway? But I don't know. I just remember just scouring the net, reading
Oh, you can do that?
I remember too. I remember that one, but I also remember the Dead or Alive one. That one, because what was I? Middle school when that game came out.
Oh, for getting them naked?
Yeah. I heard that you could get them naked. I mean, and it was my older brother who bought the game, but me and my sister used to play it all the time. And then we found out about it. We're like, oh my God, let's do it. Not that we really care, but let's do it anyways.
And you couldn't do it?
No.
Yeah. That one was. I just ended up swan diving her off rocks and shit. Cause
I have to say, you've got the coolest family in the world, Kyla. Just the fact that you all wanted to go and see like Laura Croft naked. That's just awesome.
Yeah, well, I mean, my older brother was a huge gamer, and so he's like 15 or 16 years older than me. And so me and my younger sister just used to spend so much time with him playing games and trying to figure stuff out with him. It was always a good time.
They even had a rumor of a game that was supposed to be released that was like a Tomb Raider-esque game, but it was with a naked protagonist. And I believe it was Electronic Gaming Monthly again, playing April Fools on people, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, this game's awesome! I want to download this game. I want to buy this game. When's it coming out?" And it never got released. And a lot of horny boys were very upset that day.
One thing I like is about like Game Informer. I think they continue that April Fool's shit. They have one every year.
Yeah, they do.
Where they just talk bullshit for like half of an issue.
Wesley, you've been a bit quiet. Why don't you go with your gaming hoax? What gaming hoax have you had that kind of misled you?
Well, actually, I'm not that old. I'm only 13, so I have older brothers that usually like to make me do stupid things. So in Super Mario 64, they told me that if I could reach Peach in the Peach's castle, you know how there's like the Peach on the front of it?
Mm-hmm.
They said that was a portal and like of like one of the paintings, and if you could get to it, there's like a super secret level. And I probably spent like 4 weeks trying to do like jumps and like finding like invisible walls to try to get to it, and I never could.
I think I was told the same thing back in the day, that like there was a way you could get in there, and there was some secret passage you could get through, and it'd be some part of the game that you've never seen before. Speaking of Mario 64, I'm pretty sure that game has at least a couple of them. The most infamous one that I can remember is Unlock Luigi. You do something a certain way, and you can play as Luigi.
Is that with the stone where it says like L is real?
Yeah. That was in the courtyard with the booze, correct?
Yes.
That little message thing. Yeah. I don't even. There was 1,000 different ways you could unlock him, and with different things. I think the thing behind that rumor was Miyamoto was maybe contemplating making Mario 64 a 2-player game, and there were early renders of Luigi in beta, but they didn't go through with that. They just made it a single player, and maybe some early footage or whatever of Luigi might have been released, and these hoaxsters used them to maybe trick other people into trying to do various different stupid things to try and unlock Luigi.
The thing about that, though, as well, the reason why he even states the reason why he couldn't put Luigi in the game was because the cartridge couldn't fit.
Yeah. I think what I had heard was the exact way he wanted it to come out was actually the way Mario 64 DS came out. I think that's the way he actually wanted it to come out, yeah. Even
though he added like a couple of extra characters with Yoshi and Wario.
Yeah.
It was a great new port, though. I actually really enjoyed that. The Super Mario 64 for the DS. But yeah, I remember that one being quite a big one. Like, I kind of heard of it growing up. I never really tried to do it when I was little because, like, I didn't really have a Nintendo 64. At that time, I was more of a PS1 gamer. But it just kind of always sticks around, and mainly because it's like, wow, that was like the one Mario game where Luigi isn't actually in the whole thing.
Well, he's not in Super Mario RPG either. I don't know which came out first, though.
Oh, yes, there's Mario RPG, too. Yeah, that came out on the Super Nintendo, so that would have been first. Yeah, well that was developed by Square.
Yeah.
Gino.
Gino's the shit.
Yes. Too bad all those characters are owned by Square still. I don't know if they're ever going to be brought back for anything. Anybody else have any rumors they remember from the past? Any at all?
How about Aerith from being stabbed in the back by Sephiroth?
Make sure there's no sad ending to Final Fantasy VII. You can get around it.
Yes.
There is hope.
The amount of rumors that went on about that. It was like, how many times I heard a rumor was, oh, if you did one thing different in the game, or if you talked to someone different, she would actually be able to become a playable character. She wouldn't have died, and you could finish the game with her, and there'd be no sad ending.
Might I just say that actually, according to the human anatomy, Sephiroth didn't stab her in such a way that would kill her, and also dead bodies don't sink, they float. So technically Cloud killed Aerith.
He is a brooding individual. I'm sure sometimes his emotions get the best of him.
Well, he is an emo.
Put it past him.
But that was one of the funny ones. It was like, oh, you can do this, and if you basically just time it the exact right, the cut sequence won't happen, and Sephiroth won't stab her straight through the back, and it's just, it was one of those moments in gaming that had to happen in order for everything else to initiate. That was the only way that they could progress. And after countless and countless people throwing out rumors, the developers, Square, basically came out and said, there is no other way. She has to die.
And it's funny that it took them to say that. People really were hoping that they could figure out some way where they didn't have to endure that cutscene. Or maybe if I restart the game and just figure it out the next time.
Yeah.
We can save her.
It's hours and hours of playtime. And I have to admit, my brother was one of them who got swept into this and kept trying and trying and trying. He spent nearly 30 to 40 hours of gameplay.
Well, that's the thing.
He nearly failed school because of that stuff.
Well, on top of that, Square is one of those companies, too, that when they make a really good RPG with characters you invest in, you really want to see things go the way you want to for the characters. So Final Fantasy VII being one of those games that people were super invested into, of course they would want to try and make the better ending for themselves, too.
Well, one thing about that game was, the thing that I think is so funny about Final Fantasy VII is if you actually, before you get to the end of the first disc where Ares actually gets stabbed, you can actually go around and get her, you can find her final limit break. So, which is called Great Gospel, which revives everybody on your party who's dead, and it makes it revives everybody, it takes away all their status ailments, and it brings everybody back to full health. And the funny thing to me is, why in the hell, would they even go out of their way to make all this shit? I think when she normally dies for me, I think she has, her second limit break. So for people to actually go get the third, and then go, because in Final Fantasy VII, you have to go find the fourth limit break, and then you have to teach it to her after she learns the third one. So for them putting it in there, I feel like that alone makes it seem like people would think you can get her back or she doesn't have to die or whatever, And yeah, they just kind of went out of their way to do that.
It was a beautiful story that people just really got upset about. And it was also a very well-made Square game. Shame about now.
Well, I was going to say, I don't know about you guys, but I kept Ares on my team. I just had to use a game chart.
Did your game glitch to the point of insanity by having that?
Oh my God! I remember I kept her on my party, and she, of course, she wasn't in the actual game. She was only there during battles. But I remember using her last limit break, and when you use her last limit break for the Sephiroth battle, if you have that in Knights of the Round, it's pretty much just a click button fest. It's so freaking easy.
Game Shark's greater than cutscenes.
Yeah,
I think it's what it all comes down to.
Her last limit break is just OP as hell.
Yeah.
We had mentioned Electronic Gaming Monthly a few times, and anybody who played GoldenEye 007 will know one of their most infamous articles they ever shared. The all bonds cheat. Who fell for it?
Truthfully, though, the all bonds cheat had some truth to it. The reason being, they actually did have basically the
they had the texture files, right?
They had the character files in the game, but they never actually officially put them in the game because they couldn't get the license for them. The actors wouldn't agree to sign their likenesses over. That's the reason behind it. But yet, some idiots actually used that as a way to say that there was an all bonds cheat.
They're just trying to cover her up. They're yeah. They're trying to make up for all those hours of doing this in vain. It's got to be a purpose.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When it comes down to it, you've got to sit there and think to yourself, okay, can I actually do this or can't I? But it was, and I think it was Yuri of Wind who was one of the guys that refuted it and put out I think they actually laid into the game and they took a look at it, and inside the game itself was the texture files, and that was it. These characters were not playable. You couldn't do anything with the Game Shark. It was just texture files for them that were gonna be put into the game, but just didn't happen. And yes, I was one of the idiots that fell for it.
Yes, and people fell for it. But before a lot more information came out, like as you said, Yuri of Wind, whose channel basically is another one of those things where you can do a shout out to. He does a lot of things talking about differences in betas and some old gaming rumors and urban legends in this gaming mystery series, which is awesome stuff. I would recommend anybody who likes that kind of stuff and to go ahead and watch it. But yeah, it was just one of those things where I guess extra content is always something people want to achieve. When you see something as cool as to be able to play as every Bond actor ever in this awesome, GoldenEye has to be the premier FPS for the N64 too.
I'd have to give a shout out to Tony Mango for that, who played the living crap out of that game. He
and
always
for good
told
reason,
me
it's a
about
great
that.
game.
Yeah, and he was actually saying to me that he would just play that game constantly. He's a huge James Bond fan, and he's also a huge fan of GoldenEye as well.
And which is funny, and it's probably the only video game where he could probably say he's a huge fan of, because Tony's not the biggest gamer in the world by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, he literally comes out and says, I don't like gaming. The only other time I've had a discussion with Tony Mango about games is Grand Theft Auto 5, when he went, holy shit, that game looks realistic.
So, it had an effect, obviously.
My thing is why would you... I mean, playing as all the Bonds is kind of cool, but it was kind of a first-person shooter. I mean, how much? I mean, would the weapons be different? Would not William Shatner? Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Wow!
Star Wars?
No, their hands. Would their hands be different? I mean, I don't understand why anyone would play as all the Bombs.
It was the faces were different, the hands were different. They were even talking about the guns were supposed to be different.
I'm sure they were going to give them different weaponry too if it actually came to fruition, to kind of make each one unique and individual.
Well, yeah, that like the Ninja Turtles. All the Ninja Turtles essentially look the same, but they're all different colors. They're all different color green.
But they had the texture files there, they had the characters there, and they also had a couple of new weapons for them as well, but they were all just maps. They were all textures. There was nothing concrete. They didn't do it in the end because the actors wouldn't sign the licenses over. It was too much. The fee would have been too much. So they just went with what they had.
Indeed they did. Anybody else?
Yeah, I got one.
Any old stories you can think of? Because I got some here.
Yeah, I got one.
Go
The
ahead.
Resident Evil franchise is one of the largest in gaming today, as we all know, but even its audience is susceptible to a good prank. And back in 1998, Electronic Gaming Monthly allegedly printed an issue claiming that Street Fighter's Akuma could be unlocked as a playable character in Resident Evil 2. As fans soon found out, this report was yet another one of the 19th infamous April Fool's tomfoolery.
I'm sorry. I just mentioned zombie coming out of nowhere. He's like, swoosh.
Yeah, this is how it works.
You could just see a freaking what was his name? Who was the main boss in Resident Evil? Oh, what was his name? I keep thinking Bahamut.
Albert Wesker?
No, the main zombie monster killing machine thing.
Tyrant? Or Nemesis?
Was it Nemesis? It wasn't Nemesis, was it? It was the other one.
You had Tyrant and you had Nemesis.
Tyrant. Yeah, it was Tyrant. And imagine just basically Akuma just coming in and just... where he does that, where he just beats the living crap out of you, then you have the symbol.
Yeah, it's all dark.
Yeah, it's
he just rapes you in the butt and you just die.
Akuma was basically raping people.
Yeah, I can't remember. What was the name of that move? Something dragon or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a weird one because my brother would always pull it off flawlessly in fight a game.
What, rape?
Especially on Chun-Li. But yeah, you just pull it off like flawlessly. With Akuma, he would just... When we saw the Resident Evil Chi, I remember seeing it in EGM magazine, and I was so excited. I was like, yeah, I want to play Akuma. Oh, I would love to like kick freaking zombie asses with Akuma. That would have actually made the game more interesting. I think I would have given it like a third playthrough with that.
I would just dragon punch lickers. They'd be on the ceiling, and it's like, whoa, and just hit them.
I would have given the game that much needed jolt.
Akuma's the shit. His brother Goken is awesome too in Street Fighter 4.
Oh, Goken. I remember him.
Yeah. Dude, the cool thing about Goken, he has that 45-degree angle up fireball, and Akuma has the 45-degree angle down fireball, I think.
Next rumor, old Mega Man to be in Resident Evil.
Do you guys even know how you were supposed to unlock Akuma in this game?
All right, go for it.
Okay. Gamers are told that they'd have to, in order to unlock Akuma, they'd have to complete Resident Evil 2 6 times through on each scenario, get an A rating on all the missions using only a handgun and a knife. They would then have to simply start a 7th game and type Akuma into the computer screen. One of Street Fighter's finest was said to then burst out of a cryo tank and could then be used as a playable character from there on out. The fictional character addition, Akuma, didn't need any guns and instead could just shoot fireballs at the evil zombie hordes. He was apparently able to open any door without any keys whatsoever. The issue of EGM that created this rumor is currently unknown, but that hasn't stopped people from falling for this bad joke.
It was over here in the UK, because Electronic Gaming Monthly, we got it religiously here. My brother, he was being like one of these, also like gaming marks. He thought he was in the know. So you'd always buy EGM as like, oh, I know about imports. I know about Japanese games. I know about this. And I used to sit there being the stupid kid that I was, because I was pretty dumb when I was little. And I'll just basically sit there and read through the magazines thinking, wow, I could play Akuma in Resident Evil. That's awesome. Let's do it. Let's try it. We tried it. Didn't work. We tried it. Didn't work. So we just came under the assumption that our game was faulty. It wasn't us, because we're not bad players. Apparently.
Well, to be fair, as far as like the how many times you had to beat it, I think to get all the achievements in Ninja Gaiden 2 for Xbox 360, I think you have to beat that game like 7 times or 8 times to get everything.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I think it would have been really interesting. And knowing people's skills now in terms of game development, I think someone could probably create a mod of that.
Oh, without a doubt, absolutely.
Yeah. That would be, for me, that would be freaking awesome.
Might I just add how it says that after you beat the game 6 times with only a knife and a handgun, you just simply have to type in Akuma. Like, it's like some easy task that must be completed.
Yeah, we were doing that, and we were just like typing in Akuma, and it was like, something's wrong with the game, we can't do it. It's the game's fault, it's not us. We're not shit, it's the game.
It was the game's fault.
It has to be the hardware. It can't be our playing.
Yeah, it can't be us.
Wow.
We're not shit. No. But it was funny as hell, and we were just walking around like we were fucking in the know, reading our EGMs. Like, yeah, Electronic Gaming Monthly. We're like United States, bitch.
I think the worst EGM hoax though is I mentioned this on the Zelda episode of when they said that when Twilight Princess was coming out, and they said that if you pre-ordered Twilight Princess, you would get a copy of Wind Waker with Twilight Princess graphics.
I remember that.
I want to see that, actually.
That was hilarious. I remember that one. I only found out about that recently. And people were going ballistic. And again, it took a statement from Nintendo saying, no, this isn't real.
Always does.
You know, it's like, guys, come on. Because people were literally upset. They were extremely upset about Wind Waker. It was ridiculous. Why does it look like a child game? Why does Link look like a little baby? This looks too childish.
Mechanically, it's a great Zelda game if you ever actually played it.
Yeah.
So.
Fuck mechanically, graphically, it's a kick. Like it looks amazing.
Yeah,
that was a game that was just misunderstood.
Totally agree.
Terribly so. I would actually say it's one of the best titles for sure. Why it got so much hate is beyond me.
It's not better than the
be
PCI one.
Ocarina of Time. That's the best Zelda. Needs those graphics.
That's the thing. The fans are upset that it was so cartoony and everything. It's such a serious game. It's like, it was awesome, and the remake is just as awesome. Piss and moan, piss and moan.
No, the HD remake is way better because you don't have to sit through that fucking cutscene in the beginning that you can't skip through.
I love it. I love that.
Well, yeah, you can love it, but I don't want to fucking sit through the damn thing. It's like the beginning of Okami. It's like, yo, once you beat the game, I don't want to see this shit again. Where's that motherfucker? Or what was that other one that went off like?
I think I know what you're talking about.
Perhaps my least favorite.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Yeah,
Whoa.
that's it.
Go on, Brayden.
Just like that goes quiet after that. Anyway, the last one that I can really remember from Electronic Gaming Monthly was when they pulled the old, you can unlock Sonic and Tails in Super Smash Bros. Melee. Just complete Krill Melee and kill 100 people to do it.
I've seen gameplays of people doing
People
that.
have actually done that. Yeah. I even tried it myself. I think it's the only one I've actually ever tried to do. And the most retarded thing about that was when you unlock everybody in Melee, you get an announcement that says you've unlocked the entire roster. But yet us dumbasses actually went out and tried it anyway.
Yeah, hit him with the nerd thing. Why the fuck do I get it? No one else gets it.
Yeah.
No, I was actually going to hit him with this. Oh, crap.
Play it. I mean, I deserve it, really.
I know. I just basically threw myself out of the studio. I was like, no! It's there. It's fine. And yes, he does get the nerd treatment, of course.
Lay the hammer on me.
And to those who basically thought that would even happen.
Hey, it did happen a game later and then the game after that.
It did, but come on. It was like everyone fell for it.
Well, and at the same time, it was really stupid, too, because Sega was still, I think, in the console market at that time with the Dreamcast.
I know, but everyone
they were opposing Nintendo.
Everyone thought Sega was going to come and do like a swerve and come in and say,
surprise, motherfucker!
Yeah.
And, and Sonic would be found, and then... But that wasn't going to happen.
Oh, wow.
I have a good hoax.
Go for it.
What about the the hoax trailer of The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask for the Wii U?
Oh, yeah.
People went freaking ballistic for that one.
It looked so awesome, though. Oh, my God.
That was a test one, wasn't it? They used it as part of like the test kit to show what the Wii U could do.
No, that was independent. It wasn't that a fan-made one?
Yeah, it was fan-made.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it was brilliant.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's amazing.
Fantastic.
Yep.
I would have played it.
I like how the mask guy, like one of his masks was actually a Ninja Turtle. I thought that was kind of cool.
Oh, yeah, like on the side of the thing.
But seriously, how could someone actually put that together and not seriously get considered by Nintendo to...
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Why they didn't actually pursue that guy for an actual job, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he did and he just didn't care about it.
No, I think Nintendo basically came after him and said,
step away from the duck.
No. What they did do was they plagued his video with copyright infringement and demanded that they get royalties from it.
Yeah,
for sure.
And then
they called it a Let's Play.
Game over.
I guess you could say. They've been doing that a lot lately, haven't they? Just slapping everybody with copyright notices.
They haven't with me, quite luckily enough, quite recently.
Thankfully, not with me either. I'd be quite depressed if they did, but...
But saying that, I've got more to elaborate on that, but I can elaborate on that in a later date.
Mm-hmm.
The worst enemy, I think, at the moment is the Content Factory, who are a YouTube like company. They basically provide support for YouTubers and stuff like that, and they've copyright claimed one of my videos, and they have no claim to it, which is fun. You know,
always a pleasure.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about another one that we've all which ones that have came like reality in terms of a gaming franchise. What about Mortal Kombat? And one of my favorites, and again, this was from EGM, Ermac.
Yes. And then there was a lot of speculation about that hoax because of the debug in Mortal Kombat, where you run the debug and it would show all the character models and it would have this one name called Ermac. Everyone thought was a secret character.
Yeah. And also someone like apparently ended up once they like were supposed to go and face Shere Khan, they ended up in a level where it was like a smoke room and it was a red like scorpion, and he defeated him and it said Ermac wins. EGM, I love EGM so much for doing this because they had me fooled too much. Seriously, I was sitting in my dad's shop reading this, thinking, wow, I want to play the arcade game because they got a character called Ermac. I want to see if I could do it. It was all a hoax. What happened was the developers loved it so much, they put him in the game. And every single hoax that came out, they just kept putting the character in the game, which I think was a testament. It was a testament to Midway, a.k.a. NetherRealm Studios.
Honestly, I think that EGM just has like a little corner in their office just dedicated to like actually writing the magazine, and then just like a huge area of just like people making hoaxes and just thinking of more and more ways that they can just trick people.
EGM's creative team.
Yeah, EGM, they were notorious for doing that.
They were like the trolls' ancestors.
Yeah. If you think trolls are bad now on YouTube, EGM were just like doing trolling in print.
You mad, bro?
But you know, it was actually funny, like listening and reading half the articles about these hoaxes that were going on in these games, because as I said, I was a stupid kid. I believed every single one of them, especially when it came to EGM.
They were really, I don't know why their pictures looked real all the time, but to me, they did. I don't care if I was younger. I could probably look back at that, and if I didn't have the knowledge I knew now, I'd probably still fall for them.
Yeah.
It's a way of making those screenshots look legitimate.
Oh, I totally agree with you. It was one of those where it was for a time where I haven't found out what Photoshop was used for yet. It was a time where it was all too young to see stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And bam,
Same here.
They kept doctoring these photos, making up these like freaking game footage and stuff, and it just worked so well. There's one we haven't talked about with a game that we basically associate with Minecraft.
Herobrine.
Yes.
Yes. There's still people who think that's real, by the way.
Yeah, a lot of people
I've talked to people who still think it's real.
Yeah, a lot of people have actually they've made Minecraft mods with Herobrine in them. Now, for those of you who don't know the story about this, it was one of the fastest growing gaming communities ever of Minecraft, of course, and people were going on about a character called Herobrine, who was supposed to be the dead brother of the game's protagonist.
And he was haunting the game, and he would kill your character.
Yes. He would find you, and he would kill you, and he would have, like, no eyes. There'd be lifeless souls of eyes.
Or Brian, he'd be really helpful, and he would dig you this really extensive, awesome tunnel and build a lot of cool architectural things inside of it. He'd build shit that you couldn't even think about how to build. Just for you.
Yeah, I know.
He showed up.
And,
or he'd kill you.
That's why I hated about him, because he built the Starship Enterprise for me, and I thought, you dodgy cunt, I can't do that myself, so he just put me to shame.
Yeah, he'll either put you to shame or kill you, or he'll do both.
Exactly.
Actually, I have a stupid story about Herobrine. When I first got the game, I didn't know anything about it. I just bought it because it was popular and stuff like that. And I knew about Herobrine and all that stuff. I didn't know about any of the enemies. So I spent like 5 minutes just walking around, and night came and everything like that. And I saw in the distance what I thought was Herobrine. So I got like super freaked out, ran up to him, and then like I found out it was a zombie. And it just irritates me whenever I see one now.
Well, what are those weird things that are actually in Minecraft that do stalk you and kind of go invisible and then reappear? I kind of forget their names.
Was that
those
Enders?
are creepy. Yeah, those things.
Yeah.
Those things are pretty creepy.
They have the ability to remove like blocks and stuff from your freaking house, so you wouldn't even be safe in the house. I would crap myself every time an Ender would come near my house. I'd be
They're
like,
pretty freaky.
I'm supposed to be safe. It's my four walls. And all you just see is a block go. Like, oh crap! I tangled with those bad boys too many times.
And they're by far the creepiest the actual enemies that are in the game.
Yeah.
I guess they're kind of like Herobrine. Maybe.
Yeah, totally, man.
Except real.
It was one of those things where, with that, Mojang, apparently they were toying with the idea of putting him into the game just to mess with people because they loved the idea of it. But they ended up just throwing it out and saying, no, we're not going to do that. That's not conclusive.
No. One of these days they should just think about throwing him in there, but no big announcement about it, and just have people figure it out for themselves.
Yeah.
Oh, he was real this whole time.
Yay, I'm right.
Yeah. Well, didn't Notch troll people about that rumor and say that like his brother was no longer with him or something like that?
Yeah, he did it on purpose.
Yeah, he did some sort of troll job for sure. But another one that's pretty recent in terms of games. They're not that recent. I guess about a decade old or 5 years or so. Grand Theft Auto in San Andreas and Grand Theft Auto 4 had each a type of Easter egg where you could see a Sasquatch in the terms of San Andreas. I think they actually brought back for the fifth one. They actually put a Sasquatch in that game. And for Grand Theft Auto 4, I think it was like a rat man in the sewer. That if you go down there around the right time, you'll see this like rat person thing. You could hear it and all that. I believe both were definitely fake. But a lot of people tried to go to these remote locations and find them. Got a lot of people talking.
And both sound equally as horrifying if you did find them.
A guy actually did a Twitch Let's Play on it, trying to find it. And what he did, he played clever. He actually recorded the footage first and then played because of the so-called noise that was supposed to be in the background from the Rat Man, and played it over the footage. So what people kind of... the way they found this hoax out was someone actually ripped the footage off of YouTube, put it in their like Movie Maker, Vegas Pro or something like that, and they found there was two sets of sounds. So there was 2-channel stereo, and the person actually put it into a mono channel. So they saw there was 2 layers to the video, and revealed the hoax. I've got another Zelda one for you, actually.
Sure.
Guys want to hear it? The case of the perpetually unobtainable Triforce.
I was just looking at that one on my list here. Either me or you were going to get to it.
It was one of the best video games of all time, and such as many websites brought it up even before its 1998 release, often documenting secrets, bugs, and hacks within the game. The ultimate irony, however, is that the game centered around a mystical Triforce as an object that possesses tremendous power in the Zelda universe. It was virtually unobtainable in the game, but that didn't stop players from trying to find it for several years.
Wow.
One of those.
That dedication.
In what has to be the biggest wild goose chase in video game history, the search for the Triforce in Ocarina of Time was a long and arduous one. Clever hoaxes and doctored screenshots, those unfortunate enough to fall for some of the more outlandish claims, spent hours trying to throw bombs into the corner of the lava pit below Ganon's castle and attempted to beat Ganon with 0 deaths without the Bigoron sword. While everyone claimed it would be justified by the phrase, "I know a tester or a coder at Nintendo," every claim was proven false, and we had to accept that the Triforce is simply unacquirable in Ocarina of Time for not lack of trying.
Well, I guess you could say that those people who spent hours and hours trying to find it, I guess they were met with a terrible fate.
Cha.
That was horrible. I'm sorry.
One of them, it's not necessarily a hoax, but I remember when I actually have it up here, so I have the exact thing. But when I was playing Mario RPG, that part where you're walking up, I can't remember the place it is where you can like read people's wishes on like, from the stars and everything. And there's one that says, when Mario's reading it, says, "I want to be a great plumber like my brother Mario." And I don't know, like when I was playing that, I was like, where the hell is Luigi? Because they did throwbacks and everything. There's this one part in the earlier part of the game where you could like walk behind a curtain, and when you came out, you were in 8-bit form. And then when you walked back in, you came out as like the 3D kind of Mario. But I mean, it's not necessarily a hoax, but it's definitely like it led me to believe that where the hell is Luigi at? I don't know, personally.
I have kind of a similar story to that, but far more recent. When I first got Grand Theft Auto 5. I had heard about getting attacked by a shark, and literally one day I spent an hour trying to get killed by a shark, and it just wasn't happening for me. And I was like, I had so many friends, most of them played on the 360, and they were like, yeah, I mean, it's happened to me like a handful of times. And I was like, okay, maybe it's just a 360 thing. Why isn't it working on my PS3? Like, is this different? And then finally one day, by chance, I happened to come upon a shark, and so I was like, okay, this is great. Getting killed by a shark is not a hoax. This is a real thing.
Yeah, well, it's an achievement.
Yeah, I know, and I wanted it.
Yeah.
She wanted it bad.
I did.
She wanted the S.
I had never... when I had heard about it multiple times, I was like, this is so cool. I want to get killed by a shark in the game. And I could never find myself coming upon a shark. I would take like the jet ski so far into the ocean where when I jumped off, I died instantly.
Yeah. And as soon as you found the shark, it was...
Exactly. This one is it's the reverse. It was something in the game that she couldn't get. And I remember she would get in the boat with another person, like either steal the boat you'd steal the boat from there and drive out to the middle of fucking nowhere and just jump out, and she still wouldn't die.
Well, no, I mean, finally I looked up a video. They're like, this is how you get killed by a shark. And I'm like, okay, I think I can figure this out now. But I think I was doing a mission. I was doing one of those missions where I think you have to find the pieces of radiation at the bottom of the ocean. I don't remember. Anyways, that's the first time I came across a shark.
So that happened. That's real.
That's a real.
We could check one off the list then.
That's not a hoax. There's an achievement for it.
No. I said it's a real hoax. As in, it's not a hoax. It's real. Huh? Never mind.
Ba-dum-cha.
Yeah.
I actually have one that probably could have saved hours of my life had I just looked into it a little bit more. But when I was first getting into Pokemon, I was watching videos online of it and everything, and there came a Pokemon that said, or there came a video that said you could get the Pokemon Mew 3 in a cave.
Oh, I remember Mew 3.
And there's like tons of different like forms and variations of it, so you didn't know which one was real, but you just spent so long looking for it, and it never was true. And it was really like a ROM hack or something like that.
Yeah, there's someone actually, I wanted to give a shout out. Someone actually created a Team Rocket hack. So you actually go through the ranks of Team Rocket as a Pokemon trainer. So instead of starting like with Professor Oak, you start in Team Rocket headquarters and you're like a flunky. And then they hand you a Pokemon and you have to go around like trying to thwart the main character, red or blue, in the game. It's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. That is very cool.
So, Braden, what we got next? Who's next?
I got another one.
I'm trying to think of the next one. The only other one I can think of is going back to San Andreas. Apparently, people thought Leatherface was actually in the game as some sort of thing that could kill you. Like, instead of Bigfoot, people thought it was Leatherface was in there. Like, if you go to a certain spot in the backwoods, Leatherface will come and cut you up as a stage hazard or whatever, or could kill you. One of those Easter egg things to find. Of course, it's totally not true, but pretty interesting, considering that would have been a movie license in a Grand Theft Auto game. I could see the appeal behind trying to find such a thing, but it's not true. Unlike the shark that was mentioned earlier.
What about you, Travis?
I don't know if this would constitute as a hoax, but this is something I read in Nintendo Power quite a few years ago. There was this kid who wrote in saying that he was playing Mario Kart 64, and he was playing the Bowser stage, and he fell off the bridge into the lava, and he said he hit it at a certain point when the screen went to black. Next thing you know, we saw an image of a naked Jenny McCarthy.
Yeah, no, that's real. That's real.
Seriously.
And
no,
okay,
I'm going to search for that now. Zach said it's real. I'm going to search for it.
Just go to Google and type in fucking naked Jenny McCarthy and look at that.
No, damn it. I want naked Jenny McCarthy in Mario Kart.
Oh, okay. All right, then yeah, it's real.
Yep. But I read that and I was like, okay, I don't know what the hell there's no way that could even work. But I think he just simply thought it was right in Nintendo Power, right? It's such a ridiculous story. Let's see if it gets published. And it did. And it's been just a long time. I think the response was, okay, we're going to back away slowly. Because that was just outrageous. And I tried it.
And honestly, there's like naked Jenny McCarthy porn, but no naked Jenny McCarthy in Mario Kart. You lied to me, Zach.
Oh, on Google? No, yeah, go to Google and just type it in. It'll come right up. Take your safe search off.
All right, cool.
You know, we're talking about hoaxes though. You know what? One of my favorite gaming hoax is, and when you guys talk about the Minecraft, it kind of made me think of it. The creepypastas.
The urban legends.
Yeah, like the creepypastas, like of course Ben on Majora's Mask, the evil Ben.
That was just nuts. I remember
Cleverbot makes it better.
Sorry, that first actually turned up online, and I read that creepypasta, and it was a weird thing, right? Because I only read about it, say, I think it was around about 3 years ago, when it first was like published in that blog, and it freaked me out. It literally did freak me out.
Or the Pokemon Black cartridge. Not Pokemon Black, but the Pokemon Black cartridge creepypasta.
I think my favorite creepy thing that involves Pokemon has to be Lavender Town. The original music in the stage apparently caused kids to suffer terrible brain-bleeding migraines because the sounds were so fucked. Or whatever the was behind that. That music is pretty piercingly bad, nauseatingly so.
Having a freaking headache.
My favorite twisted things in video games is Slenderman.
Yeah.
You can go out camping and like get someone drunk and be like, "Yo, Slenderman's in the woods," and they'll just freak out.
Everyone's afraid of Slenderman all of a sudden.
Slenderman? What?
Yeah.
He's my tax attorney.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Mine too, actually.
Mr. BJ Slenderman.
Yeah. BJ.
Blowjob.
Wouldn't it be funny if the guy was like, "Hey, it's not what you think. It stands for blowjob." Like, oh yeah, I wasn't thinking that. I thought it was like Brian Johnson.
Yeah. Big junk.
Big junk.
Oh man.
We are the worst. So let's talk about the one that you guys had that fooled you. I mean, like literally fooled you to the point where you just didn't give up on it. Wakala has her shark. Who else has one?
Actually, it's kind of not what you're saying, but it kind of is, because you know how I said my brothers always made me do stupid things in games and stuff like that? Mm-hmm. Well, do any of you know the game Bookworm?
Never heard of it.
No, it's like it gives you like random letters and you have to make like words out of them and everything.
It's an educational game?
It's like a puzzle kind of game.
Okay.
But,
we're gamers, we don't do educational games. Mario Touch type in.
Mario's missing? That's
trash. Oh, man. Don't.
Hey, I love Mario's missing.
Loads of
I'll
Mario.
finish the story.
Game of the year. But
Yo, is the
my-
last thing you remember being a sperm?
but,
I'm sorry, we had a guy who was 13, didn't we? Or was that not an actual age?
No, Wesley is actually 13. Right, so go,
Oh, yeah.
Wesley.
yeah. Well, my brother was like really into that game, so I told him I found the word lightsaber, just to like, because he said he had like the longest word that anyone had ever found. So I told him I found lightsaber, and he wanted to prove to me that it wasn't actually a word in the game. So he spent like so long, like at least 5 hours in the game, like without moving, matching up all the letters, making them fall in like the perfect alignment to spell out lightsaber, and it didn't count it as a word.
So you tricked him into spending all that time to make this ridiculous word just to see if he'd do it?
Yeah.
Good on you.
I feel like you could do that with almost any game. You could find some way to spread some rumor where all of a sudden it blows up and everyone is all of a sudden like, oh my god, did you hear you could do this? I'm trying and I just can't get it.
Yes, Mario RPG. You can go in when you're in like the princess's bedroom. You can go by her fireplace and it says you found her like question mark or whatever. Like obviously meaning I'm guessing her dildo or vibrator. But like you could tell people that like oh you can find that in her room and they would go looking for it.
Yeah,
and
that was like the biggest one actually, because people were going on about that, saying that that Mario found her vibrator. It was sexual connotations like through the freaking asshole. And
You know that's not true. That's why Toad always hangs out with her.
Oh my god, you guys have seen what was that?
The Star Bomb.
Ego Raptors.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Shaped like a dick. She doesn't need a. Actually, you know what? I was asking Kyla's roommates, and they said they don't even use any dildos. But I call bullshit because they know about the ones that have the suction cup that you can stick to the wall.
They have muffins. If they have space in their room,
oh my!
They're growing fungus.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, at least it's conforming to its normal shape.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, she pulls Toad out and makes like block stuff.
Cock blocking?
Oh, does she?
Yeah.
Yeah, and a girl. And she'll be doing the same thing in the fourth one. So.
That's funny.
You know.
He looks like a dick.
His whole body is shaped like a dick.
Yeah.
Wahoo!
When I saw that, what's up?
Every time I start putting that Toad through a pipe again, it's never going to be the same.
It will never be the same. It's ruined for you.
Oh my god.
Especially when he goes in head first.
He's laying pipe. Wait, Xander, aren't you a plumber?
Yes, I am.
Oh my god, Xander, I've just realised you're Mario.
Totally. I was actually going to buy some blue overalls.
You should
Saber-tooth Mario?
You should get a red hat as well and just throw out your tash. And every time someone comes up to you, just go, wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, you can actually get the Mario hat that's just like a baseball cap.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is they're saying about the Peach using Toad as her personal assistant.
Toy?
Well, that explains why he's always smiling.
He's smiling because he's dead inside.
Yeah, he has. Just look at his eyes, dead eyes.
Actually,
he has the eyes of a stripper, just dead eyes.
That reminds me, when since I've been playing Mario and Luigi Dream Team, and like some of the first scenes, Peach is always surrounded by like pretty much a horde of like toads.
Yeah.
There's like always like 6 of them around her. Like she rotates them. This is like labeled Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Mhm.
And then Toad.
Go clean yourself up.
And Wednesday's a special Toad because it's hump day.
What?
No, go and eat those 1-ups and come back.
Yep.
Wow, we've really gotten off topic here.
Well, welcome to our everyday life. Sometimes my roommates they almost count down. As soon as Zach comes over, it probably takes around 5 seconds for the conversation to go from normal to degrade to like poops and sex.
I was on my best behavior today. I had a friend of mine literally say to me, "You can't say certain things in front of this friend of mine that I'm bringing to like our meeting." I was like, "Okay, cool." And every time I got out of line and I was going to say a dick joke, he kicked me.
I'm sorry.
He just knew when that impulse was coming that he could kick you?
Yeah.
Just the look in your eye. It's like, oh, Burhan's going to say a dick joke. I better kick him.
Yeah.
That look he's giving just screams. Off the dick
Guys,
joke.
we're going on to the audio archive. Will be, if you want to continue listening to the show about us and Princess Peach and Toads and dick jokes and galore, you can do by listening onto the archive, guys, and it should be up as well on iTunes, Stitcher. Make sure that you keep listening to the show as we keep going on here. Yeah, and then literally, I was just saying all the dick jokes. I tried to say one dick joke, kicked me. Tried to say another one, kicked me. I was like, you know what? I was like, you're the best lesbian in the world, and then I got another kick. But dude, stop doing it. And then I found out there was children next to me, and I had to stop.
You gotta stop.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I've got
Timmy's ears.
Yeah, you can always ask questions. I talked to this Gold Star lesbian once, and I had like a 40-minute conversation that was just like Howard Stern worthy, and she was just answering everything, and I was like, okay. Cool.
Was this? Wait. No, that's not you. Never mind.
Yeah, no. Anyway, that was that. I don't care. It's like, okay, when Kyla we went to this party for her work out in Boston, and as soon as we walked in, like someone had a hotel room, and what's the first thing I did? I turned on the TV and I went right to the porn rental, and we went through every fucking possible rentable porno, and we looked at them, and I described them to everybody, and we agreed what we'd want to watch if we ever got one.
Wait, were you talking about Kristen?
No, I don't know.
No, the girl whose suspenders you were adjusting?
No,
not Kristen.
Anyway, we can get back on topic. Mine was
in the gutter.
In the gutter.
Okay, Brayden, do you want to bring it back?
Can I even bring it back after all that? I think it's almost impossible.
Trust me, we could go on about sodomy, and then you could still bring it back.
You can bring it back.
Hey-o!
Oh. I like Kyla's Facebook status. Do women poop faster than men? I think you and Zach should have a race.
No, I would always win.
Mythbusters.
He's in the bathroom for half an hour.
Lately I've been going quick because I've been just taking care of biz and bouncing.
It's just been falling out. Like
no, I've been giving it a push, but like I haven't been wasting time. Because here's the thing, like the time when I talked about a couple episodes ago when I beat Tetris DS, I was dropping a deuce, taking my time. But lately I've just been squatting. I've just been pushing it right out and bouncing.
Guys, you should do your own show called Getting Your Poop On.
It's a main topic of our conversation, believe it or not. We talk about bowel movements quite frequently.
It's the one thing that you have in common with everyone.
It's true.
That is so true. I was literally having a conversation with someone recently about a bowel movement. I was like, that's the only time I have to myself. I was talking about Johnny about it one night, Xander.
Yeah.
I was like, being in the toilet is the only time I get to myself. But now the kids have learned to unlock the door.
Oh, God.
I'm sitting there with my 3DS, like playing Legend of Zelda. I'm taking a crap.
Motherfucker, get a break around here.
Don't you have child-proof like doorknobs?
No, the thing is, the door locks. They didn't know how to unlock the door locks from that because you'd have to use a knife to unlock the locks of the door. My brother did it because he wanted to go in and go get some deodorant, and I was like, "Don't do it. If the kids catch you doing it, they're going to see it and they're going to do it themselves." What happens? My little 3-year-old figures it out, grabs like a freaking butter knife, opens the door, and then all the kids go rushing in.
How many kids do you have?
I have 4 kids, and they stay with me like on the weekend. Mm-hmm. The girls have got more common sense now because they just don't want to see Dad's hairy legs. But the boys would just sit in there and go, "Dad, what are you doing?" I'm like,
what do you think I'm doing?
Yeah. It's like,
they're like little Pikmin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my little one would just sit there. He would just bring up a stool and sit there next to me, pretending that he's dropping a deuce as well. And he's trying to find his like sister's DS so he can sit there next to me and pretend that he's playing it. But the big one's just standing there like going, "Dad, Dad, what? Can I play the game? Go away. Can I play the? Go away. Can I just go watch TV, man? I'm trying to and it's the worst thing in the world. I can't poo in public. It's just, it's
You're
the worst.
one of those.
I am one of those. And
I think pooping in public is the funniest thing ever.
It's very
because
funny,
the person who goes in after you, you're just like, you don't know what you're walking into. Like,
this is destined here.
It's like, I don't know how it is in the States, but in London, if you go to a public bathroom, people just, like for men who play FPS shooters, they can't fucking aim the toilet bowl.
Oh, that's everywhere.
No, that's everywhere.
Yeah,
that's universal.
I have to go to like the local pound shop, get wipes and stuff like that, so I can clean the bowl, because I don't want to end up like coming out the toilet with some like immediate infection that just kills me. You know.
Yo, when I was in the military, this guy told me like before he got in, he worked at Target, and one time he had to go unclog a female's bathroom, and he said he went in, and this shit was like the size of a football, and he said he had to go get a cardboard box and chop it up in order to flush it.
No, you know what?
That bathroom.
I had a very similar story at work, but it was in the men's bathroom at my work, and they tried to use like a plunger to break the turd up, but it wouldn't break up, so they had to use a pair of some of our disposable tongs, pick it up and put it in a trash bag and throw it out.
This weekend I got gameplay.
I think giant shits are the reason I don't like public bathrooms. You could be that one person who walks in on them.
Do you know, like, you'd go and try and find that hidden fish, that hidden shark, so it could kill you?
Yeah.
Hidden shits are the worst thing in the world. You go in there like stealthy ninjas. You open up the door, and you move the door ever so slightly, and then you see a big turd poking out of that bloody bowl.
You know what pisses me off the most, especially in like a women's bathroom, when I go in there and I just see piss all over the toilet. It's like you have one job to do. Just sit on the fucking toilet and it goes where it's supposed to go. It should not be on the
funny feeling that the phantom woman who does this, she just pulls the knickers down and just aims at the walls and tries to sign her name or something.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. This just reminds me of another story from work. There's this crazy bag lady who was in the plaza of one of the other cafes that I used to work at, and she would be on this fake cell phone all day. And she used to walk into our cafe and scream on the phone, thinking she was talking to someone. She's like, "The FBI is responsible for my constipation. I can't poop because of the FBI." And she'd be screaming this throughout the entire store.
I'll be sitting there laughing. I'll be like, "Apparently you can't." She'll come up to me like, "What? Apparently you can't poop because of the FBI."
Dude, it's frightening though, because these people are so crazy. You have no idea when they're gonna just fly off the handle and
I think Obama and the NSA have got better things to do than monitor people's poops.
You never know.
You don't know.
Just get someone to come in and measures it.
Yeah, they're measured in Keurig. Remember from South Park.
Measured in Keurig?
Keurig. Like
starting next week, we're rebranded as.
I got game poop.
Yeah.
Yeah, game poop.
Sorry, getting your poop on. Excess Gaming Poopcast. Rose-coloured Let's Poos.
Oh no! Don't you drag me into this.
And Poop Beast.
Yeah, Poop Beast.
You're already
that'll work.
The main picture should be that guy from Conker's Bad Fur Day. The big
the
poop.
Great Mighty Pooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like one of the best characters in the world.
It's the best boss fight in the history of video games, actually, in my opinion.
Opera singer.
I am the Great Mighty Pooh. So
where do we start from in order to get to this point in the show? I mean,
well, somebody talked about their issues with past bathroom experience. Then everyone's like, "Man, public bathrooms fucking suck. Let's talk about why they suck." And man, isn't it fucking disgusting to find floaters and this, that, and the other, and piss on the wall? And hey, nobody has it.
Someone saying they left a deuce the size of a football. I mean, okay. We've really strayed from what we're supposed to be talking about.
Poops are the biggest gaming hoax.
Gaming mysteries and bowel movements. I mean, I guess everybody's had an experience with both of them.
Yeah,
relatable.
Yeah, let's kind of go back on topic, please.
Next week.
Says he's going to be signing off, so he was wondering if you should give off any plugs or anything like that for him.
Who should? Who's
Wesley.
Oh, Wesley?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Wesley, Plug away.
We'll sign off. However you want to do your closing bit of being a part of the show tonight.
Well, it's been fun, but unfortunately something came up and I have to go. Thank you for having me on the show, and I enjoyed it extremely well, and yeah, that's basically it. So thanks, and maybe I'll do it again sometime if you give me the chance.
I say you don't have to poop, do you?
Oh my God!
You know what? It's so funny where we're gonna have Xander just like come out of a video on Access Gaming Podcast about the biggest game poops, and it would just happen. And it would be like,
Jesus.
Hey, Burhan, I think every second half after we do the full hour about the gaming topic, we should just talk about bathrooms for like the next half.
Happy gaming.
Let's get as immature as we can.
Happy pooping.
And pooping and peeing.
Yeah.
Let's get as immature as we
Xander,
can.
that should be a new sign off. Happy pooping.
We already filled the first hour with the subject matter. Now we get to talk about scat humor.
Because you're a scat man. Thanks, Wesley. And hope everything goes well with the game. Is there going to be a date when it's going to be coming out?
Well, I don't have any release dates set yet, but I will be getting a demo, if not this weekend, the next weekend for sure.
Cool. Guys, you want a demo?
Yep.
Sure.
Definitely.
What's the name?
What's the name of the game?
Well, if you look up on Facebook, Leap of Faith RPG game, there should be a Facebook page where I do giveaways of side quests and stuff like that.
Yo, Assassin's Creed's gonna hit you for fucking copyright infringement or some shit.
Oh, trust me, we wouldn't believe how many people come to my game and just feel like, you're ripping off Assassin's Creed. And it's yeah, it has nothing to do with that.
Oh, then they're gonna rip you off they're gonna hit you for it anyway.
Nintendo's gonna hurt me. But anyway, that'll be going now.
Have a good one, mate, and good luck on the project.
Yep, thanks.
Can't wait to play it.
Meh.
I like that, meh.
Meh.
Meh. It's like very Simpsons-esque. Okay, there's one, speaking of pooping, we've got one big gaming hoax here on GTA.
Really? I thought we really covered all the big necessities for the show already. That's why I'm like, can we even bring it back? We already listed all the big ones off.
The most recent hoax on the list was the current still happening around us. There was a GTA 5 beta that was going around before the game was actually published. And someone actually created a video. I'll actually show you the video. It's a YouTube video. It's right here. And it was supposed to be a leaked beta test. Now, basically, they've got everyone's hopes high and said that everyone was fully entertaining the details that this could be promising to be a new GTA game and that this would basically lead to the GTA 5 and everyone wanting to sign up to the open beta. Rockstar basically denounced this, and then later on they rolled out GTA 5 and also the GTA Online game, which was basically a working beta in itself. There you go. People like to play.
I was actually watching the video.
Everyone's gone silent.
I shared the video. I need to watch it. Because I've only seen the one still image of the van, which, for that being fan-made, which I'm assuming is what it is, it's really, really well done.
Yeah, and it's like the Zelda Majora's Mask thing. I sat there and I thought to myself, the fact that you get so many people doing these fake videos and doing these sort of fake gameplay footage, why isn't anyone hiring them to actually do these things? The biggest one is the Sonic .exe. Does anyone remember that creepypasta?
Yes.
Where Sonic was going around killing his beloved friends, including Tails.
Well, he killed Robotnik, too. I don't think they were too close, but...
Yeah, but Robotnik deserved to die. But what they did, someone actually developed it and made the game into reality. So they had... You played these characters, and they were running around trying to outrun Sonic, and Sonic would kill them, and then you have the ending. And then after that, someone actually implemented Sonic.exe into Sonic 1. So you would play Sonic, and you'd be hitting the rings, and every time the screen started fluttering and Sonic and the evil Sonic tried to get you, you had to hit the ring boxes. It was really, really clever, and I really, really would like to see more stuff like that, especially when it comes to like rumors and creepypasta stories. They always lead to some epic games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, Brayden. So, what have you got next for us?
Yeah, we've just covered so many of them, like a lot of the top ones, for sure. But I remember hearing something. I don't know if it was all that big, but in 2010 there were also some videos that were supposedly leaked, and a lot of people bought in that it was going to be the unveiling of the PlayStation 4. I don't know if anybody's heard of that story.
Oh, I remember that. This is before Sony actually announced it.
Yes, almost 3 years before that, actually. I don't really know the details behind that story, so I'm just kind of trying to remember it off the top of my head.
There's a video actually released of that.
Was it by Sony themselves, or was it another fan-made sort of
deal?
It
was a fan-made one. It was the one that started it all.
Wow. And it got basically like the GTA 5 thing. It just caught up this big amount of hype, and people bought into it.
Yes.
Whoa.
They did. I can actually show that to you because I was doing my research and I was having a look at it and seeing what I could find, and that was actually one of the bigger ones.
One of the more recent ones too is like the last couple of years.
Yeah. It was on YouTube as well.
I don't know any of the say the content matter of the video itself or what was in it. All I know is that it was played or revealed around the time of E3, and fans bought into like it was some sort of Sony viral marketing campaign. Oh my gosh, at E3 they're gonna unveil the next console. That sort of deal. I'll give it a look then, because I have no idea what was actually in this. So it's like a fan-made trailer, viral video sort of deal.
Huh. That's crazy. I mean, we saw. I mean, we had a hoax not too long ago of a Nintendo console. We can talk about that.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I'm talking about when Nintendo's planning to replace the Wii U. That whole rumor that's going on right now.
Even though the console's like 2 years old.
Yeah, that whole rumor.
Oh yeah, when are those gonna go down in price so I can buy one?
I like that. When's it going to go down in price so I can buy one?
I've already made the decision that it's my first next-gen console of the three.
Really? I mean, I already have a PS4, but I really, really want a Wii U, especially the Zelda one.
Tyler, can you do me a favor? Can you put the PS4 next to your door? Use it as a doorstop and take a photo for me, please.
I will do that just for you, even though I do use my PS4. I just bought the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, even though I already own the PS3 one and I've already beat it, but I just want to play it on my PS4.
But are there any original games being released for that as of yet?
Fuck if I know. I don't know. I don't really keep up on it.
PlayStation 4, I bought it. Fuck it. I don't care.
I mean, I'm very happy that I have it, but I still realize that some of the games that I want that are coming out in like the future are still on the PS3, like Deception, Blood Ties, which I really just want to talk about all the time.
So what's that about?
Deception, Blood Ties?
Mm-hmm.
If anyone's ever played Tecmo's Deception on the PlayStation 1 and then they had Trapped on the PlayStation 2, you're pretty much somehow linked to the devil and you're in like a castle or a house, and your entire goal is to kill people and steal their souls. You either steal their souls to keep them and hang on to them, or use them to get like cooler stuff later. So you're either collecting them or you're selling them. And it's just really fun because you just set up traps throughout the house, and it sounds kind of simple, but if you guys go to YouTube and look up Deception Blood Ties, the game looks amazing, and it's coming out March 28th, I believe.
Oh, so those guys who wanted the Legacy of Kain fix, might actually give that a shot.
Yeah, I've actually I have Legacy of Kain, but I've never played it.
It's an awesome franchise.
So good.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Brayden, do you wanna sound us off?
If that's it for tonight, then I haven't really done this in a long time. How do you go about closing the show again, Burhan? I know we go around the clock and ask everybody for plugs.
That's what I think. And I have to admit, today's show started off with a bit of a downer, but we've done, I think everyone's picked up their spirits, especially with Zach and his pooping jokes.
I would say it was the poop.
It was
Everybody poops. There's a book called Everybody Poops.
Everybody poops sometimes.
Yeah, that's right. And sometimes as in all the time.
Oh, God. Why hasn't someone done that? Okay, we'll start off with Zach and Kyler. Go for it.
Well, first of all, I'm pretty sure someone has actually already done that. But, if you guys want to catch us on YouTube.com//Getting Your Nerd On. We've been doing pickup videos and adding comedy sketches to them. Our newest one is like an ADT security commercial, but people using an Xbox instead because they're heavy and you can kind of use them as a weapon.
You could kill someone with an OG.
I still say the Xbox should have had a gun attached to it.
Yes, yes, it should have.
Yep.
Sorry to cut you off, but it makes me think of another hoax. Remember the hoax about the Xbox that killed the baby?
I've never heard of this one. Did it tell the child to shut up and then it shook it?
No. It was the first Xbox. Apparently, an Xbox fell on a kid and killed him. But it was just a hoax.
Like a toddler just had an Xbox fall on it and crush it?
And I was that boy.
What?
Well, it very could have possibly done it. Those things mean business.
Yeah, it's true.
They're pretty huge.
I had an Xbox crush my testicles once.
Someone should make the parts in Home Alone when he sends the paint cans down and just put Xboxes over them.
I still think you should just need an Xbox on a chair with a gun in its hand. Well, in its hand, it doesn't have hands, but just like a gun next to the vents. And every time a crook comes in, the thing just fires.
Yeah.
We could totally do an entire montage of it. Anytime in those black and white movies when an anvil falls on someone, or in Indiana Jones, instead of having a giant ball behind him, there's a huge Xbox.
Yeah. Odd job. Instead of throwing the hat, he's throwing the Xbox.
Yeah, this should be a thing. We should do this.
I think it is going to be a thing. I think I'm going to start using Photoshop to doctor footage of Xbox Ones and show how awesome the console is.
Oh my God! Wait, what was that movie where the boulder falls on that guy's arm and he has to gnaw it off?
You mean the actual one?
Yeah.
He didn't gnaw it off. He cut it off with a pocket knife.
Isn't it 128 hours or something like that?
Yeah.
You know, I'm so glad that his dick never got trapped in that boulder. Otherwise, he would be screwed.
Dude, he'd be fucked. No one's cutting that off.
Yeah.
You can live without an arm.
Yeah, imagine that. The thing just falls on his penis. He's like, oh no.
You guys really want to think about that? That sounds terrible.
Thanks for that, Burhan.
I have to.
Always appreciate it.
The show with some penis joke. So.
Okay.
Because I Got Gameplay is not a show without some mention of some sort of dick of some kind or poop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Poop, dick.
Well, we're all adults here. Poop, dick, whatever.
Or rose-colored reviews. But
it's just that, I'm not trying to drag the show down or anything. I just really hope that the guest we just had, I do hope he comes back. I mean, we're not really like this all the time.
If someone doesn't come back due to poop jokes, you got an issue. Everybody poops.
Sometimes. Hold on.
No, don't hold on.
Just let it slide and go. Okay.
It's funny because I was going to add a lyric in there, too. It's like, everybody poops. Sometimes everybody strains.
That's true. I strained a lot. Actually, there was a poop joke that I talked about in the Retro Unlim. Do you guys want to hear it before we sound off the show?
Sure, absolutely.
Let me see if I can get this poop joke. This is I had this poop joke. It's about this young man. So what happens is I'm going to see if I can find this quickly. He ended up he has the situation where he can't poop. He has the point where it holds in, and he ends up having to do big long turds.
Oh, this story! You're going to share this?
I'm going to share this story.
Oh my!
He ends up, it's like a medical condition apparently. So he ends up going to this girl's house, his girlfriend. They start fooling around. He's dying for a poop. So his stomach just starts going. Rrr, rrr. So you know how it does. They really start going. So he's like dying for a poop. He's getting ready to go, and he really just goes to the toilet. And they start like making love, and his stomach settles down. And then like they're lying there. He's lying next to her, and suddenly she puts her finger up his ass. So because of that, he ends up like splattering poop all over her chest, her bed, her parents' comforter, everywhere. She screams, locks herself in the other room. He basically sees a big log of poo on the bed. He throws the poo into the toilet, tries to flush it down, has to cut that thing up, grabs the comforter, throws it in the washing machine, and then legs it out of the house, even though it smells like shit. So they don't talk for a couple of days, and she finally gives him goes down to his house, and she's standing there next to him. He explains the situation, and then they never see each other again. So there you go. That's what happens when you drop a big deuce on your girlfriend's parents' bed. And
where was the joke? That's just real life.
Exactly.
I know people who have done that.
Have you done that?
No, but my buddy did. My buddy was sick when he was dating this girl, and he threw up in the bathroom, and then he came back to the bed. He had been dating her for like 2 weeks, and he was really, really sick, and he went to go puke in a garbage can, but as he was puking, he actually shit the bed, and she actually cleaned it up and didn't let him know whatever happened, because he was like, I think I shit the bed. She's like, no, you didn't. She threw it in the garbage and never told him it happened until they got married.
She must have been. You know what? That is a woman that you need to get married to.
Yeah.
I would marry that woman. Cleaning my shit off of a bed.
Yes.
Any sane woman that I would know, if I shat on her bed, me and her would never see each other again, and I'd probably have to pay for a new bed. I would have to throw that bed out. That's just.
You gotta throw the rails out and everything.
Yeah, she would. She'll be like, "Oh my god, I can still smell it." She'll be lying on the new bed. I can still smell you.
That just reminds me of a story, but I'm gonna save it.
Yeah, we gotta get into plugs. We're gonna lose time on plugs.
Yeah. Butt plugs, guys. Butt plugs.
Oh.
No, she means plug your channels.
Yeah.
Okay, Xander.
Well,
what are you skipping our plugs?
Yeah.
I didn't even get to finish.
Well, you could do your. I'll let you finish in a minute. Go on, Xander.
Yeah, let them go ahead and finish. Jeez.
Well, I like to keep her go away, and she can finish later.
We didn't get to finish.
It's all about the guys, Xander. It's all about the guys. Okay, Kyla, go for it. You can finish.
Oh no, I was just giving you a hard time. Xander, please.
Okay. Well, all pooping aside, I do a YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/XanderScullion. And I also host a podcast, Access Gaming Podcast, that you can listen to on YouTube, Podomatic, iTunes, and on the RetroOnLim.com network. And stay tuned, because I will be having a special episode this Wednesday where we have not only Michael Burhan as a guest, but we will also have Jason Heine from the EMU Review and All Gen Gamers as a special guest, and we're going to be talking about racing games.
No, he means we're talking about racist games.
No, we're not talking about that.
Oh, God. You know what, Travis? I think we need to do a podcast and start racist games. What do you think?
Only if I can be a character that's created on Game Grumps known as Racist Bassist. Doom, 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 doom.
I have no idea who that is. So, Travis, go for it.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube. I have 2 different channels. I got Rose-Colored Reviews, the show where I take a look at classic video games, television shows, and movies, and through rose-colored lenses. I see they still stand the test of time, and I've got this youtube.com/rose-colored Let's Play, which basically is yet another one of those Let's Play channels, but hey, this is where I reflect on classic games as I play them. And both of them are on this wonderful network of Retro Unlim, RetroOnLim.com.
And he's on Dailymotion as well, guys. His videos have been doing awesomely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very surprised. The first one I posted up there was my Let's Play Mortal Kombat 3, and then in one day I had over 2,000 views. I couldn't believe it.
That hurts me inside, Travis.
I'm saying, I just posted.
The student has become the master. I submit. Kumite.
Well, come on, because your Ghostbusters videos are doing pretty well too, you know. But anyways,
Not on Dailymotion. I get like 2 views on Dailymotion. Yeah, but go on.
Yeah. Find me on Twitter, TravisScott79. Let's see, you can catch me every Saturday night on this wonderful program. I got gameplay with all the usual suspects here, and let me see what else we got here. Also part of fanboysanonymous.com, and
you do Geek Speaks on Geek Speak Thursday nights, don't you?
Yeah, Geek Speak moved to Thursday nights. It's part of Naked Partners Radio. You can catch that at 8 p.m. Eastern, and yeah, just doing a lot of cool things, just trying to get some stuff catched up and everything, trying to remaster some of my other videos for Dailymotion that were on YouTube. So check it all out. Good times ahead.
Okay, and last but not least, Braden. I'm joking. Go on, Kyler.
Alrighty.
I said last but not least, Braden. I was like, I'm joking. Go on, Kyler.
Oh.
The host always goes last,
I completely got confused there. That's because we get for paying.
I know, the host always goes last, Braden. The host always goes last. You have to. That's part of being the host. Yeah, you have to be the last one off the ship. Go on, Kyler.
All right, well, you guys can catch us on YouTube.
Oh, God, Kyler. Bloody hell,
no,
what
she
happened?
said she didn't want to.
I'm sorry, did you not see your most recent video? I'm Zach.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that did happen.
I know. I was like, Kyler, you got some epic beard.
Thank you. Well, thank you for that epic beard comment. I've been growing this bitch out. Yo, women have been throwing themselves my way. Anyway,
fuck off.
Anyway, so, yeah, find us on youtube.com / getting your nerd on.
One word.
All one word, or find us on YouTube. Find us on Facebook, Getting Your Nerd On, separated, getting space, your space, nerd space on. Do not get us confused with the porno, Getting Your Nerd Off. We have no affiliation with that.
And also, pooping channel, Getting Your Poop On.
Yep, we also have a 300 subscriber contest coming up. We haven't decided the rules yet, but we know the prize.
Yeah.
So
Kyla has
custom painted a PlayStation 1. So
yeah, so you can either use it to display in your game room, or you can actually play with it.
Right.
It's custom painted by Kyla with some cool ass artwork. Anyway, so watch us. We also have 2 Pro Noobs, which is our new Let's Play channel, or Let's Play segment on the same channel.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, watch us. Listen, I got gameplay. Watch everyone here, and yeah.
They have a flurry of content, guys, as well, and you can check out the Exodus Gaming Podcast. Getting Your Nerd On. You can also basically check out Travis's channel as well, Rose Color Reviews, Rose Color Let's Plays, on www.nerdgenius.com. So you can also check the stuff out on there as well, guys. I did a recent video that stemmed, I don't know how the hell this happened, I got over 429 views for my opinion on the Wii U, and basically what I feel that could be done better for the console. Great article. You can make sure that you check out everybody there as well. Everyone's doing an amazing job, and make sure as well we are partnering up with fanboysanonymous.com, the Dace Man Show, and the Dace Tacular Gaming for a Cause. They have only raised $95. It is ridiculous how unaltruistic most people are. Guys, this is for kids. This is for a children's hospital. This is so that little boys and girls have a fighting chance. All Dace is asking is for people to basically invest $10 each. Now, on my YouTube channel, I got 146 subscribers. $10 each could literally eclipse that $1,000 target, right? Everybody who listens to this show, if they donated $10 each, could basically eclipse that $1,000 target. He is not asking for much. There are prizes as well. So if you check out the prizes, it's a $50 Amazon gift card, a $25 gift card for GameStop, a $25 gift card for AMC Theaters, a $50 gift card for Cheesecake Factory, and a Marvel event pack, of course, including Secret Invasion, House of M, Civil War, Avengers vs. X-Men, paperbacks, and also, I'm going to announce it here because Zach probably doesn't know about this. There are 2 special edition I Got Gameplay t-shirts that are being made. One is going to be given to Zach Latour for his birthday, and the other one is going to be auctioned off as part of the Dace Man Show charity, and I have also offered that I will send this t-shirt out for whoever donates the most and wins this t-shirt. I will send it out to every single host of the cast, and I'm going to one-up this, guys. I will ask some of our YouTube celebrity friends like Rob Mann, from the Happy Console Gamer. I'll ask Johnny Millennium. I'll ask as many of the guys as I can to sign this T-shirt for you so we can make it even more limited edition. All you got to do is make sure that you break that record. All he's asking for is $1,000. This is for kids. Make sure that you donate. The link's on our site on www.nerdgenius.com. Also on fanboysanonymous.com. It's on the Dace Man Show's Facebook page. So also for those who like my YouTube stuff, as well as I'm doing Ghostbusters Let's Plays, like, comment, subscribe. Now, take it away, host of hosts.
Okay, so basically all I really have to plug here is you can, of course, follow me on Twitter @SpoonBeast, but the most important thing that I always have to plug for every sort of podcast I do is, of course, my YouTube channel. You can subscribe to me at www.youtube.com/SpoonBeast for various different video game-related blogs. I mainly delve into what Nintendo has going on recently, positively or negatively, of course. And with that, we presented to you the Gaming Hoaxes edition of I Got Gameplay. So for myself, for Mike, for Wesley, who was here earlier, for Zach, for Kyla, for Travis, and for Xander.
Wait 1 second.
What?
Before you say that comment, before you say one thing, I want to give you an inspirational quote from the man known as Batman. He said, and I quote, this isn't verbatim, guys, okay? When life gives you lemons, just be grateful that they're just lemons because my parents were shot in the back of a dirty alley. Take it away, Braden.
Just going to say on that note that we all have gameplay. Do you?
No. I still got to edit this out. This is just ridiculous. We had that epic ending, guys.
That's what I was waiting for.
We had that.
When's the song going to play?
I know. There we go.
There it is.